Hello and welcome to another Saturday night Stack Chat, the one and only fully interactive podcast on YouTube. And how do you interact, I hear you ask? That is simple. All you need to do is be a member of the fantastic Stacker Social Discord server. There's a room in there called Stack Chat Interact. If you put any questions, pictures, gifs, whatever you want in there, we will show it on screen and we'll all get to have a good laugh together. But tonight I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by a good friend of the channel, basically. Somebody who I started out doing my live streams with all those many moons ago. Let's get him on screen. You know who it is. It is the one, the only, the fantastic Future Investments. Future, how are you doing, my friend?
Hello, mate. That was an intro. Holy moly, I've got a big grin on my face now. It's good to be back. It feels like old times, mate. Thanks for having me.
It does. Even my backdrop is reminiscent of when we were doing our lives together, isn't it, with the old books, etc. So it is fantastic to get you back. I'm going to say a quick hello to everybody we've got in the chat already. It's fantastic to see you all here. We've got Blistering Barnacle Adventures, Davinia Robbins is here, so is Villainous Bounty. Congratulations on starting your channel, Villainous Bounty. Well done, mate. If you haven't checked his channel out as of yet, definitely head across there. Give him some support and let's see how quick we can get Villainous Bounty to 100 subscribers. We've got Jumping Into Silvers here. How you doing, buddy? Great to see you, my friend. Who else? We've got Rex is here. How you doing, Rex? Great to see you as always, my buddy. And let's have a look. Who else have we got? Nerd's here. Nerd, fantastic to see you again, mate. I'm still a little bit sore from the insult last week from your partner there, Nerd, but it is fantastic to see you nonetheless, my friend. Jamie Frost is joining us all the way from Japan. It's always fantastic to see you here, Jamie. Thank you very much for joining us. And I think we're up to date. Okay, so guys, just so you know, the way we're going to do it tonight is I'm going to have a bit of a chat with Future. We're going to concentrate on the chat mainly, but if you have any questions about anything we're discussing tonight, put the questions in the Stack Chat Interact room, and then after we've had a chat, we'll go back and answer everybody's questions. We'll do the duck race at the usual time of 9 o'clock, and then after we've done the duck race, we'll just do a Q and answer session in the live chat. So that's the way we're going to do things tonight. So if you do put any questions in the Stacker Social, don't think we're ignoring it. We will definitely come back to them, and we will go through them all a little later on. But for now, Future, how are you doing, mate? How have you been?
Oh, mate, I've been good, thank you. I've been super busy, super busy. But life's good, mate. I'm healthy. Everything else is a bonus. So, you know, what more can you want, really?
Exactly. It's good. No, it is good to be busy, though, isn't it?
Oh, mate, absolutely. And it's all positive busy, right? Sometimes you've got negative busy and positive busy. And I'm glad to say that, you know, this section of my life is positive busy, building new things and working hard. Yeah, so yeah, it's great, man. I'm feeling good, and I'm really happy to be here tonight. How about yourself? Have you've been busy?
No, it's fantastic to hear all of that, by the way. But me personally, it's starting to quiet down now a bit, which is fantastic because autumn time is always extremely busy for me. You've got all your projects on the go. You need to get them done before the winter months come in, and it just gets absolutely crazy. So things were wild a few weeks ago, but it's starting to steady out now, and we're heading into winter, so things are calming down a bit, and I've got a little bit more time on my hands to get things done, like concentrating on the channel and getting things done around the house. So yeah, no, thank you very much for asking, mate. I appreciate that. You've come with a couple of topics you wanted to discuss tonight, haven't you, mate?
I have, mate. Yeah, I've got two questions that are kind of personal to me as an investor, but it's something that I think can generate a really good topic of conversation. So yeah, whenever you want me, I'll let those questions free for you.
Well, yeah, we'll do them one at a time. So the first one is pertaining to the S&P 500 or any other long-term investment, isn't it? But if you want to let us know what that is.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for the introduction to that question. Essentially, what's been rattling on my mind is it worth maxing out your investment ISA? For me personally, that would be regarding more so index funds like the S&P 500 or the FTSE 100. But of course, as an ISA, you can only invest £20,000 in that, and then you would spread it out across those index funds. So my question kind of is it worth, if you've got 20 grand sitting there sort of stale in a bank account or maybe a bond or something like that, is it worth taking that money out and just banging it into a high rate performing index fund like the S&P 500, where you can get, a great return of a consistent 10+% regularly, and then you could maybe use that money for buying something down the line you wanted later? So is it worth putting that maximum amount in straight away, or should you incrementally take that 20 grand and maybe put a grand in each month of that 20 grand, so you're spreading that risk? It's something that's quite on my mind at the moment.
No, it's a brilliant question. It really is a brilliant question, and what should you do if you've got 20 grand there? You've got a £20,000 allowance. The reason for you to saying 20 grand is with a stocks and shares ISA, you can invest up to £20,000 every single year, completely capital gains tax free and exempt. So that's where the £20,000 comes from. And what are your initial thoughts on that, mate?
Yeah, thanks for debriefing that a little bit more for me, because I didn't explain that particularly well. But you're 100% right. Yeah, you can invest 20 grand, and it's tax free, capital gains tax free. So fantastic. My thought, to be honest with you, is if you believe in the investment fund, like I do with the S&P 500, I think it's great to stick that 20 grand in and get the great return on that large amount of money. But you really have to believe in that investment. If it's of course high risk, then it would be much more advisable, in my opinion, to take that 20 grand and invest it regularly over a dollar cost averaging period of maybe £1,000 each month. So if the market was to take a downturn, you're not going to have a massive effect of loss on that 20k. But if it's something you believe in, maybe that looks strong and is regularly performing well, like the S&P, I find it hard, if I'm honest, to find reasons not to do it, because having that fund myself, I've had so many fantastic returns. I can't help but think, why don't I just max it out and really capitalize on the fantastic performance of that S&P 500, or in someone else's case, maybe another index fund or a fund or something like that.
Yeah, no, great answer there. I mean, to be fair, when you're looking at it long term, there's no real wrong or right answer. To me personally, because you're right, you're going into something like the S&P 500 because over time you're going to get those yields, you're going to get those gains in the investment. That is just proven. If you look at the S&P's history, there's no point in time where you could have put £1,000 in the S&P 500, left it for 10 years, and you weren't in profit at the end of it. The thing about it is, for me though, there's always going to be peaks and troughs, little ups and downs in the market, and if you were unlucky enough to put your £20,000 in when it's at the top of a peak, is that going to do as well as if you split it down into 12? Put it down as 1,600. I think it's £1,666, 66 pence reoccurring would be
Correct.
for 12 months. So I personally would think, and my preference at least, would be to do it that way, to put it in every month, use the full allowance, but put it in every month, and then at least that way you're getting the benefits of the ups and downs of the market as it goes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and listen, as a investor who believes in that sort of way of investing, I think you're correct. I think my brain says invest that way, because what you're saying is 100% correct. However, I'm going to be the devil's advocate here and say, if you was to invest that 20 grand, let's say the market did take a downturn, and of course you might go negative for a while, you only ever actually lose out when you sell. And I think that's something that's important to remember. People often put emotions into investing, don't they? And if that was to happen and you were to invest that 20 grand and the market was to downturn, and maybe you were in a negative investment at that point, you don't want to sell, because at that point, that's when you get, your hands essentially cut off. But if you hold that investment and you persevere through, with the hope, of course, that it does return to its better performing standard, then essentially that value is still going to be the same as what it was when you invested it. But you've got to ride through those, like you say, those peaks and troughs. But of course, like you said, if you're investing that recurring £1,666 a month of, what would equate to £20,000 a year. If there was peaks and troughs, you're not going to feel that as much. So you're so right in saying that. But I also think if you really do believe in the specific fund, then as long as you don't sell, you've never actually lost that point. As long as obviously it doesn't permanently stay crashed.
That's very no. You're very true. You're very true, and that's why I said at the beginning, there's no real right or wrong, because something like the S&P 500, you're perfectly right. Over time, and like I say, the proof is there. Look back at the history of the S&P 500. Over time, you're always going to be in profit. To me personally, I just think you're optimizing the amount of profit you're going to get back by getting that fluctuating buying price. Like you say, if you had a dip in the market, and sometimes these dips can last for a couple of months, it can last for 3-4 months. You're absolutely right in what you're saying. Never sell in the red. You only lose until the second you press that sell button. As it's going down, you're buying at those cheaper and cheaper prices, which means when you get to that end date, you've made a higher profit margin on what you've purchased along the way. Again, it may not work that way. You may be lucky enough that the second you buy in that £20,000 was the lowest point of that year. If you can do that, that's going to be the highest profit you could possibly make by investing into the S&P 500. You're buying it at the cheapest possible rate you can. You're getting those CGT free gains, and you're really getting that profit margin on there. But the likelihood of that of being able to do that, it's winning the lottery, isn't it? You know what I mean? So it's like you said, you're absolutely right. If something like the S&P 500, you can put the £20,000 in now, as one lump sum. You could wait 5 years, you could wait 10 years, and you're going to see good gains on that regardless. I just personally think you might see a better profit along the way if you take the ups and the downs and you invest a little bit at a time. But again, like I said, there's no right and wrong way. I think more than anything, it goes down to personal preference, doesn't it? It's what you believe is going to happen. If you see a price and you think, oh, wow, now the market's just dipped massively and you've got that £20,000 there to hand, I can completely understand why somebody would think, right, well, I'm going to buy it now. Yeah, there might be further ups and downs, but I think once you've averaged those out, this is still going to be a better buying price. So again, it's not a clear right and wrong, is it really?
No, you say it so well. I would. Do you know what I'd really like to do? Say you had maybe a twin sibling, right, and you both had £20,000, and you both were into investing, and maybe you both believed in the S&P 500. It'd be really, because I get what you're saying and it makes sense, but it would be really interesting to see if, let's say, one twin said, okay, I'm going to put £20,000 and max out my ISA in one deposit. Bang, maxed out. Let's see what return that gets me in exactly a year. And then let's see what the other twin, if they did it on the dollar cost averaging basis of £1,666 a month, they invested that each month, but in that month, they tried to buy the dip, like you say, so they're maximizing the stock value of what they're getting for their money. It would be super interesting to see at the exact end of a year whether it was worth trying to time the market or whether it was worth having time in the market. It would be really interesting to see the differences on returns between doing it on an initial maximizing deposit input versus a dollar cost averaging basis. And like you said, 100%, there's no right or wrong answer. Both of these investments would likely do very well, but that would be so exciting to see in a year from now who has the greater yield on that investment.
I think it would be really, really interesting to see. And I think you should do it, to be fair. I think you should do it on your channel. I think you should go and open a couple of dummy accounts with a couple of brokers and do it. Put £20,000 on the S&P on one and then put 1,666 on per month on the other one. It's not real money. You're not going to lose anything. You're not going to gain anything. But it would be interesting just to see, because it would give you the answer, wouldn't it?
You're right. That's actually a fantastic idea. And you technically would gain, what you would gain would be an unbelievable value of knowledge. Because by the end of that, as an investor who's doing it, you're going to build up experience, you're going to build up confidence, you're going to build up knowledge to whether the initial deposit of maximizing it is the right decision, or whether doing it on a dollar cost averaging basis is the right decision. And of course, you could share that on your YouTube network and everything like that. And it would be a real good way of, I think, improving your own investment skill, because it would give you a real understanding of what works better for you and what works better in the market.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the knowledge you would gain from that would be invaluable. And I think you should do it. I think it would be a lot of fun to watch that over on your channel going forwards over the year. I generally think that's something you should look into, because same as you say, just the insight that would give you would be fantastic. It really would. We've had a few extra people join, so I want to say a massive hello to everyone. I just want to remind everyone, if you do have any questions about anything we're discussing tonight, put them into the Stack Chat Interact room in Stacker Social, and we will answer those later. I did see somebody popped a question in the chat about how to get a broker. It's the online brokers, so places like eToro in America, Trading 212 in the UK, Fidelity, Hargreaves. There's a lot of brokers online. So the best thing to do there would just be to Google into online brokers, watch a few videos, read a few reviews. Future uses Trading 212, which I think is one of the best in the UK. Wouldn't you agree, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased, of course, because I use it. I will admit I've had limited exposure to other, investing apps out there. I have seen good things from the Moneybox app. It really is quite good for accumulating all of your investments in one pot. And yeah, but I haven't got that myself, so I don't know what it's like regarding fees and that. But yeah, you're right. I'm very much a fan of Trading 212.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there, but Trading 212 is definitely one of the better ones, especially if you're over here in the UK. Maybe not the best for people overseas, but definitely in the UK it's quite good. Just out of interest, how are you, if you don't mind me asking, how are you doing with your S&P 500 portfolio?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, great question. I love that question. Yeah, it's doing really well. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm sitting at about 20% positive yield on my investment in the S&P 500. I think I've only held it for, well, I don't know exactly, but I think it's coming up to 2 years. I think in those 2 years, I've had 2 moments where it's dipped into red, and I'm talking for like a couple of minutes. Other than that, it's stayed positive. And to be investing into something that's yielding me a 20% result, you can imagine how much I'm in love with it at the moment. Of course, I'm not naive. I know nothing's a sure thing, but historically, when you look at past data, it gives you a good idea of predicting the future performance sometimes. So I'm feeling very confident to continue investing on a dollar cost averaging basis into that. So right now, it's sitting about 20%, and my FTSE 100. It's actually not that great. I think it's sitting at around 6 to 8%, but nonetheless, that's still a positive yield on an investment.
Yeah, but maybe going forward, you reevaluate that and think, well, if that's going to give me that kind of yield and the S&P is going to do so much better, transfer it across. You've always got the option to do that going forwards. I'm doing well with mine as well. Mine's not directly through the S&P. I know we've discussed this previously before, but it's a hedge fund based on the S&P 500. So it's just weighted slightly different with the companies. Like a larger percent will be put on a certain company rather than others. Mine's doing incredibly well at the moment. It's actually just gone over 32%.
Ooh, wow! I'm only a little bit jealous.
Yeah, no, it is. It's done me well for a good while, and I think I'm going to stick to that one going forward. And personally, I'm with Fidelity. I did try and go with Trading 212, but I did it around 2020 when everyone was getting into it, and they literally didn't have any room left on the servers. So I joined a waiting list, and it actually took about 6 to 8 months before I got an email back to them. So by that time, I'd already started putting money elsewhere. But it's a great fund, and it's doing really well for me. So I'm going to keep putting in a little bit every single month going forwards, and just hopefully continue to see that. Just going back, I know we discussed it previously. Most brokers will offer a dummy account. So in case anyone didn't know, these are great to people who haven't done stocks and shares, who haven't invested in anything before. You open an account with a broker, you don't put any money into it. There's normally a toggle somewhere on the screen where you can flip between the real account and the dummy account. They'll give you an amount of money. Like it's a lot of money to practice with. It's something like 999. It's like nearly a million or whatever it is, and you can just put that money on whatever asset you want and just see how it would have gone. It's a practice account, so people can get their heads around things and just see, you know, if I'd have done this, what would have happened. And then if you can see yourself, you know, making money regularly off it, then you can feel a little bit more comfortable about putting real money into there. I think they're great, the dummy accounts, aren't they? They're a fantastic way for people to learn the market and get their heads around it a bit more.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. It's such a risky thing, you know. I, like yourself, am quite an experienced investor now, as well as a lot of the people watching. But there's a lot of people out there who I know personally in life, in my social circle, that have just gone out there willy-nilly buying stocks and shares because they think that's what you do. And they always seem to go positive straight away. And they're telling me how they're positive. And I know that in a week from now, when I ask them again, they've always lost it. So, you know, don't just jump in. Use those tools that are there to be used. And those dummy accounts are great because it gets your head around not only really so much finding out if a particular stock might be a good investment, but I think it's more important to figure out the actual app and how it works, because having that understandability of it makes it really important for you as an investor.
100%. I absolutely agree with that, buddy. I really do. Yeah, no, fantastic. And yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think going forwards, I'd love to see that on the channel when you do look into it, you know, bang £20,000 on one account and then do it on a regular basis through the other one. And I'd be really interested to see how that goes. I mean, it's luck of a draw, isn't it, when you put the 20,000 on? You know, it's
it is. You're right. It's luck of the draw. But maybe you could argue maybe doing that over such a long period of a year. Hopefully, whether you did buy at a high time, you've got enough time to balance it out throughout the course of 12 months, 365 days. But it's a great idea. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to write that down and actually do that exact example. It's funny that we're talking about that because I am starting next month. I'm doing a small YouTube short series where I'll be investing something small to start off with, £25 in real money, and I'll be picking a stock. And I'll just kind of be picking it at almost random. And I want to see if I can end up in a positive yield in only a month. And that'll be a series I'll be doing going forward on my YouTube shorts. So, but no, great idea. And it would give a lot of people an idea of whether it's better to invest on a dollar cost averaging basis or to throw that money in and be confident and be strong and go straight in.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, I think the way I'd look at it is I'd go into the year on a dollar cost average basis, but I'd have to react to the market. So if I saw a massive drop in the market and I saw that starting to bottom off, I'd be very, very tempted to think, you know what, where are we? 6 months through the year, right? Okay, that 10,000 for the rest of the year is going in straight away now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, but that comes with the experience, doesn't it? Like you said, it comes with that time, investing in the market, knowing what to expect and how the trends happen over time. And I think, it does take time to get that experience, like what you were saying earlier. So I think, if you were somebody who was just looking at this, a complete noob, you've never put any money in stocks or assets online in any way, shape or form, I do think for those kind of people, a little bit every month, because they probably haven't got £20,000 in one go to put in anyway. You know what I mean? So for them, it's probably best off to do little and often. For me, again, it's probably a moot point for me. I don't have £20,000 to put in straight away on it, so I have to put my money in on a dollar cost average basis. But no, it's definitely interesting for the people out there who may have a lump sum. Maybe you've come into a retirement, or maybe you've been made redundant, or you've had a windfall come in. What would be the best thing to do under those circumstances?
I find it interesting. Sometimes I find myself thinking about the difference in level between some people financially. Let's use us as an example, right? So I kind of have this thing in my head when it comes to, let's say, investing regularly in either funds, index funds, stocks or shares, ISAs, you name it. I have this kind of like idea in my head of let's say my financial circumstance, that, what's the max in my mind. I have almost a figure, right? That's like, if I was to say, okay, £500 a month regularly invest, but then if I said 5 grand, I wouldn't ever consider 5 grand an amount to be able to regularly invest. That's like well out of
Yeah.
my zone, right? But there's people out there that are so financially comfortable that they could actually invest. They could see the number 5 grand as I see £500, right? And I find that so incredible, like the difference in wealth and how it can be seen as an investment. And there's people out there that, you know, when I say 20 grand, I know, let's bear in mind, you can only put in 20 grand in an ISA if you want to get the benefits of, you know, being capital gains tax exempt. But that to us is a one-off payment, right? If we had it, we would put that in, and that would probably sort of take all of our savings.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that there's people out there who could actually look at investments as 20k a month.
And beyond that, absolutely. It blows my mind as well. You know, there's some people out there that just have, you know, what I would consider to be an insane amount of money. I mean, look at people like Elon Musk. They've got hundreds of billions. Now, you know, you can say that number very easily, but when you think about how much that is, it's an insane amount of money. It really is. Just 1 billion would be a lot of money, like a stupid amount of money. So to have something like $300 billion is just insanity, isn't it?
It's mental. Like you say, 1 billion is 1,000 million. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And we're talking about 20 grand, and it's like hurting our mind a little bit of how much money it is. You know, it's crazy. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't, you know, it's still a lot of money, right? It's all about perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
And the social circle, isn't it?
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, it did never, you know, look at other people and get waylaid by what they're doing. You can only start at home with that kind of thing. And it can get a bit depressing seeing other people. But, you know, all you can do is make the right positive steps and keep going on that path. And, you know, that's all anyone can really do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, comparison is the thief of joy, isn't it?
Yes,
So
100%,
you know.
100% it is. Yeah, no, absolutely. I did notice a couple of questions in the chat. Somebody was asking, who was it? It was Wealthy Spaces. If not a bank, then how? So where else you put money if not a bank? Well, there's loads of investment opportunities that wouldn't involve a bank. I mean, technically, an investment ISA is run through a broker's, not a bank itself. You've got physical precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, etc. You've even got things like diamonds and other precious metals. There's so many. I like, you know, it's something I've said many times on the channel. There's a million ways to make money, and there's 1,000 ways to invest that money as well. So yeah, there are a lot of options out there, and one option I would never ever choose would be a bank savings account. Would you?
No, I agree. Never in. Yeah, absolutely not.
No, you're looking somewhere like 2 to 4% on a really good savings account with a bank, and you know, if you put that money in a investment ISA based on the S&P 500, you know, futures on 20% there. I'm on 32% with mine as well. It just blows savings accounts out of the water. You know, you'll be lucky to keep up with inflation if you've got your money in a bank saving account.
Yeah, exactly that. The rate of interest is so poor that you're actually worse off keeping it in a bank account.
Yeah, you're losing money over time.
You'd be better off. Yeah, you'd be better off putting it in gold bullion.
You would.
Not only is it going to be capital gains tax exempt, but it's going to go up with inflation and not down. And if you're buying substantial enough pieces like an ounce of gold, you know, you're going to get great returns on that investment, and you'll be well over spot price in a year or 6 months. Yeah,
like Wealthy Space says, where even in cash ISA is not great. Yeah, no, you don't want a cash ISA, you want an investment ISA. A stocks and shares ISA. It's a very specific kind of ISA which allows you to choose what you're investing on. A lot, you know, I recommend the S&P 500 just like Future does, but there's a lot of different assets you can look into invest in. And the best positive for the investment ISAs is they are £20,000 per year, completely CGT free. You can put £20,000 in stocks and shares ISA. Your investment can go up 50%. You could earn £10,000 just in profit, and the government can't touch a penny of it. And that's my favourite part of it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you're right. It could hit. You know, if you hold it for a long-term investment plan. You know, I think I worked out the other day, don't quote me on this figure by figure, but it's something like if I put in 20 grand now, invested for £300 a month for the next 22
Yeah.
years, I'd have over £1 million,
Yeah.
and that's completely tax
Yeah.
free. It doesn't matter that it's reached
Yeah,
£1 million;
yeah.
it's all
It's all
tax
your money.
free.
Every single penny of it is all your money. Someone, Wealthy Space said, so can you do that through a bank? I'm sure some banks will offer investment ISAs. If you go onto their websites, you may well find that. But most people go through brokerages. So your investment ISAs is through Trading 212, isn't it? Yeah,
Correct.
mine's through Fidelity. I know people's out there that's got them with Hargreaves and all different kind of brokers. So pretty much every main online broker will offer an stocks and shares ISA. You just need to make sure you're clicking the right ISA option on the website there.
Yeah.
So just quick.
Also,
Oh, sorry, mate. Go on.
so I was just going to say, also something to mention, if you were for some reason considering opening up an investment account with a high street bank, often they want a minimum amount to open the
Yes,
account.
yeah.
I know in 2020, I just out of curiosity queried Santander, and they wanted a minimum of £20,000 to open an investment
Yeah.
account. So, unlike the S&P 500 or index funds or Trading 212 as an investment app, you can invest 50 quid to open it. You can invest less than that. So there's a lot of freedom that comes with having to control yourself. But when you ask a high street bank, there's a lot of control that they have. And one of that is asking for a huge amount just to open the account in the first place.
Yeah, 100%. What was your thoughts with the hoo-ha we had with the government not so long back about investment ISAs? Can you remember that? They were saying that we were all breaking the law because you're not supposed to use fractional shares with an investment ISA. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I mean, that's the first I've heard of it, but that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell do they think London Stock Exchange and Wall Street is doing every single day in the trading week?
Well, they realised that everyone was collaring onto these investment ISAs where you get £20,000 tax free, and it was in all the headlines, and they were saying that a lot of them were illegal and you're not supposed to do it, and then it all just went completely silent on it, and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But
I mean, it comes back to that thing, doesn't it? You would have heard me say it before for sure, but we're in school, we're taught to become an employee, not an employer. But thanks to social media and the will, if you're interested in finances, it's opened up this pool of investment knowledge, such as these ISAs where you can invest 20 grand tax free. And you're right, people are clocking onto it. But go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. Money went to money and the knowledge was passed down in those generations. The general public, the general Joe, didn't have any clue about this. But now they do. Yeah, of course they don't want them doing that because they're losing out on premiums, fees, and it does, bring the divide closer together.
It does, 100%. Oh, sadly, we are still very much in the way that, the money goes to money, and there's a lot of people out there that haven't woken up to investments, and they still think the best thing you can do is put it in a savings account, and stocks and shares are just a fool's game, and you'll just lose all your money on it. But if it's done right, there's no risk to it, is there? In dollar cost averaging in something like the S&P over time, what are you risking?
Yeah. I mean, this is so poignant with me because I got a bit irritated a little while ago because somebody said to me how investing is gambling. And as someone who spent years honing the craft of investing, and I'm not going to lie, done quite well, I understand the concept of their view, but I think that's a completely different mindset perspective, calling it gambling, because I've done a lot of research. There's a reason why all my investments are positive and they continue to stay positive. If I go and bet on a horse, it either wins or it loses. Whereas I'm educating my knowledge into an investment. So it is very interesting.
No, it is very, very interesting. Yeah, and it's when you get it that interest, it does open your eyes to everything, doesn't it? I can obviously we've had people speaking about silver and gold in the comments. Just very quickly, as somebody who's very into your investments, what are your thoughts on silver and gold stocks?
I will keep this brief. I don't own any silver or gold stocks. The reason for that is because I believe in tangible commodities like tangible gold and silver for the benefits that they
Mhm.
hold. And I don't see why I would double up on my investment. As in having tangible precious metals and then stocks and shares, because it's kind of like doubling on the same thing. Although I do think there is money to be made. We see such high peaks in gold. I think if you study the gold price, you'll tend to find when it's at a low point and when it's at a high point. So there is definitely money to be made there, but it's not something I get involved
No,
with.
I mean, the two definite benefits for silver and gold stocks is one, you don't pay a premium. You're buying it based on the actual spot price. You're not paying a cent above spot for what you're buying. And two, the main benefit when it comes to silver and gold stocks or paper gold and paper silver is when you look to cash out. If you've got hundreds of ounces of gold, you've been stacking gold your entire life, and you've got hundreds and hundreds of ounces of gold, which one's going to be easier, just to click a button and get your money into your
Yeah.
account immediately, or selling it through dealerships, etc.? Because you might find that the dealers don't buy it all off you. They may not have a budget to do it. There's some big dealers out there. You may be all right, but to me, they're two of the main benefits. Another benefit for me is one, and you'll agree with this. One of the fundamental rules about investing is to not have an emotional attachment to your investment. Is that right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
100%.
very emotionally attached to my physical silver and gold. I'm going to find it very, very difficult to sell that going forwards. And if I was keeping money in silver and gold stocks, again, all I've got to do is click a button and I've got that money back. So if you look at it purely as an
Yeah.
investor and somebody who doesn't have an interest in actual physical, if you don't enjoy having that physical gold and silver, if that's not something you're particularly bothered about, maybe gold and silver stocks are the better option, because you are just buying it straight on that stock price. You're trading it straight away. You're getting those, you're getting that money in your account straight away. I know people say things like, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. You do own it. You own that number of stocks in that asset. There are risks. One of the risks you've got to look at is, if a bank goes down, you may lose your money. If a brokerage goes down, you may lose your money. How many times per year do you see a bank go under, on average?
Yeah.
It would be, it happens so seldom. It would probably be zero per year when you looked at it on an average basis. And how many brokerages do you see go down? Especially the big ones like we've mentioned, the trading 212s. How many big brokerages like that have we seen just go under overnight? They're businesses that make good money through the way they do their business, through the profits they earn on the split gap from buying and selling. The other thing is, when you've got physical gold and silver at home, there is still a risk to that. And if you look at the percentage of break-ins over a year, you'll see there's far more break-ins in a year than there are banks and brokerages closing down. So there's going to be a risk to an investment, no matter which way you're doing it. To me, I don't massively tie into that. If you don't own it, you don't hold. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I get what people are
Yeah.
saying. I do get that, and don't get me wrong. I have physical gold and silver. I enjoy physical gold and silver. I love that it is an investment, but to me, it's not an investment that I ever intend to cash in. Do you know what I mean? And I need to have an investment that I know in the future I can click that button and I can get the money back from it.
Yeah, mate, you have really, really sold, gold and silver stocks and shares ISA to me there. I've never really thought about it like that. And you're so right. Everything you said was like making me go, why haven't I got one? Because there's a lot of positives versus not many negatives
Yeah.
there. And yeah, it hit the nail on the head. It almost makes me want to liquidate my actual holdings and then go and get stocks and shares, gold and silver, right? Because the positives, you're right. It was like hitting home with me there.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view, I've always been a weight stacker, and somehow I've managed to stay very emotionally unattached
Yes.
to my
Yeah.
investments, and I'm bloody glad about that, because you're so right. If you're holding your precious metals for 20 years, are you going to want to liquidate it all, your lovely shiny pieces? It's going to be difficult for most people. However, for me, I've always had this mindset of whatever I invest, it's already gone. It's
Yeah.
not there.
Yes.
And that comes to my S&P 500 as well. Like when I invest in that, I almost have this attitude that if it disappeared overnight, I'd almost not even bat an eyelid because I've so mentally prepared for that. Um, but that's not, I think, a common ability that a lot of people have when investing. People do get attached to
Yeah.
things, and it's human nature. So if that was someone like you, then definitely a stocks and shares ISA for gold and silver might be a much more viable option.
Yeah.
But yeah, you said so many positives. It makes me want to go and get one after this.
Yeah, I mean, it goes down to the individual, doesn't it? I mean, if like I'm saying, if you like me and you wouldn't enjoy selling your physical silver and gold, then maybe that would be better for you. But if you do like having something in your life that is building up value around you, which you don't necessarily think you're going to need the money for at a later date, then physical gold and silver is absolutely brilliant. A lot of people out there don't mind, taking the sovereigns down and cashing them in whenever they want. And if that's the case, then that's absolutely fine as well. It's again, a lot of this goes down to the individual. What you're trying to achieve from your investment goes a long way as well. As I say, I have to have my separate investments because when I'm buying my gold and silver, it's for me. It's for me to keep, and I don't want to sell it at a later date. I'd love to pass it down to my family, but I do want to have something there that I can fall back on when I look to retire, when I'm not able to climb trees anymore with a chainsaw. I need to have something there that I know I'm going to get that cash back, and that's why for me it's I don't say just to discard gold and silver stock because they're a viable stock just as the same as any other stock is, and there are definite benefits to having online stocks as opposed to physical assets. But then again, there's also benefits to having physical assets over online stocks, and it all depends how it works for the individual, in my opinion.
Yeah, that you're right. It comes down to individuality, your goals, and your risk level on your portfolio, and your time.
Yeah.
Is probably the biggest factor over anything.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I really like sort of ISAs and index funds for the sort of reason that you said. When you retire one day, you want something that you can rely on, and with our pensions, it's when you pay into it, you're kind of, what's the word? You're managing to not pay tax when it goes in, but when you get it back, you're paying tax every time it comes back to you.
Yeah.
Whereas with something like, let's say, the S&P 500, let's say your investment pot reaches £1 million by the time you're 50. That's not even unrealistic. When you reach that, let's say you have the goal of retiring at 50, right? You could actually take that million and pay yourself a dividend income every single month, and you would say, okay, how much is enough for me? Maybe in 20 years, maybe £4,000 is what you're looking to pay yourself a month just to get by as a pensioner. The great thing about that is you can pay yourself a dividend of like £4,000 a month every month. But while you're paying yourself out that £4,000, not only are you not paying any capital gains tax on it, you're not paying any tax on it. The rest of the money that's sitting in the account, the £996,000, is still gaining interest. And that's the beauty of it. Like it works for you, not against you. And even when you're paying yourself out from it, when you decide enough's enough, now I'm going to start enjoying the fruits of the labor, it still says, do you know what? I'm actually still going to help you out. Even though you're taking money out, I'm going to still give you fat amounts of interest on the remaining amount of money. And of course, if you've got a huge sum of 500,000, 700,000, £1 million in there, if you're only taking out a dividend amount each month, which you know is enough for your lifestyle, the rest is just going to still building. And I mean, I love that. The beauty of that really, really is sort of very appetizing to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. That's the beauty of investing. I guess that's the finish line really when it comes to a lot of investors. There is an amount of money that once you reach that in investments, you can literally just live off the dividends off that investment. You won't take any money out of the investment. you'll just keep taking money off of the dividends that are paid on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, whatever it is. You can take your earnings from that, your wage, your salary to live on. You just take off of the interest, and that is where, as an investor, that's where you want to get to, really, isn't it? That's the Shangri-La of investing, as they say. But no, absolutely, I 100% agree with you. I think that's it's really interesting. I've seen a lot of comments in the comments, and as we said, a lot of it. I think somebody put it very, very well, actually. Was it Rex? I think it was. Yeah, there's no investment to rule them all. And I agree with that. If it was one investment that ruled every other investment, that's what we'd all invest in. However, saying that, I think the thing that to me comes closest is the S&P 500. Because one, like he says there, spread your money, diversify your portfolio is a key. If you're investing in the S&P 500 and all you're doing is investing in the S&P 500, you are diversifying yourself, because it's an ETF, it's an index fund, it's based on 500 different companies in the United States. So you've already diversified yourself. One thing to be careful of when it comes to diversification is over diversification. We touched on this earlier. Now, you said you've been investing in two accounts. You've got the one was an all world market, wasn't it? One's FTSE, one's the S&P 500. Your S&P 500
Correct.
is 20% in profit, whereas your FTSE is 6% in profit. So through you diversifying your money through those two different indexes, you've lost profit, because if you're taking the money that you put into the FTSE and put that into just the S&P, you would make 20% of that money, not 6%. So you can't. There is such thing as over diversification. If you're spreading your money too thinly, not enough of it's going into the assets that are giving you those really good returns. So you want to be looking to to have most of the money going into something that's giving you a good return, what you consider to be a good return, like the S&P 500, which is why a lot of the great investors such as Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, etc. They, there's loads of quotes on the internet of Warren Buffett saying, if you want to get an investment, all you need to do is just dollar cost average S&P 500, and they'll go back, they'll show you the history of the S&P 500, they'll show you that there's no point in history where you can take those 2 dates and you've lost money if you've invested on the S&P 500. If you go back in time, go back on the S&P 500, and that is still the case now. It's nothing's guaranteed when it comes to investments, but it's as near as you're going to be. That being said, I think Divinity said it earlier in the comments, gold is always going to be valuable. Unless they're able to, somebody said, unless they're able to make more gold, gold is always going to be valuable. And that is 100% true. That is 100% true. So I'm not saying investing in gold is not a good idea. I invest in gold myself. I think gold's a fantastic investment. I think I don't know the exact percentages, but if you look on the last year at least, or the last couple of years, I guarantee you're going to be looking at similar kind of investments to what we're saying, the 20-30% kind of mark. I haven't done the maths, but just knowing on how well gold has done over the last year or two, it proves once again it is a good investment. It doesn't matter if you're getting it physically, it doesn't matter if you buying gold stocks, you've still got gold, you're still getting that profit off your investment. And same as I say, the main thing is it's just a bit easier just to cash out when it comes to a stock. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, there's some fantastic investments out there. I'm so glad I got back into investing a few years ago, and I'm loving seeing the profit margins that we were discussing earlier, because it's just not possible to see that in savings accounts. It just isn't. You're just not going to do it. So yeah, no, I think some really, really good points raised tonight, mate. I absolutely do. But we've had about an hour on that, so and as I say, we've got the duck race to do later. We'll have a quick look at what's in the duck race before we move on to the next topic.
Yeah, mate, definitely. Let's have a look.
Awesome. So I'll go into my overhead cam. We've got poker chips. You've got the Stackers Social new poker chip right there. You've got a Cardiff Gold poker chip right there. You've got a Tech the Coin Hunter magnet right there. You've got a Primo Prepper sticker. You've got a Stackers Social sticker. You've got a Stack Collector sticker. As donated by Bristol Barnacles Adventures, you've got a 1981 Charles and Diana wedding crown right there, made out of cuppernickel. You've got a Tech the Coin Hunter bottle opener. You've got a Stackers Social business card. You've got a Cardiff Gold sticker. As donated by Tech the Coin Hunter also, you've got a Coronation 50p and a St Paul's Cathedral World War One £2 coin, World War Two £2 coin, sorry, and I am putting in personally a 1964 old decimal penny, a 1955 florin, a Roger Bannister 50p, a provided by Jamie Frost over in Japan. We've got a Samurai 1-1 dating back to the 1700s. You've got a 1936 500 silver threepence, and you've also got a Backyard Bullion 1 gram fine silver bartering tip as well. So that's your Duck Race bundle for tonight, guys. And thank you to everybody who's donated something into that. There we go. What do you reckon? What a bundle, eh, mate?
Wow, a great range of items there to be won, mate. Absolutely.
So good luck to everybody who's entered tonight. Who was it that I saw left a comment last minute? Rex, buddy. he put a comment on there literally as we were starting it. But I've got you, mate. Don't you worry, I'll get you in there. Let's add Rex there. Brilliant. So we've got 34 people in the Duck Race tonight, which is going to be a lot of fun. We'll do that at 9 o'clock as per usual. But yeah, we've got. I think this is a very, very interesting subject. I was very intrigued when you said you'd like to discuss it tonight, because I think it's very apt, isn't it? It's it's something that does affect each and every one of us, and that is. Do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, cheers, mate. I will. I agree with you. I mean, the fact that we got so involved on that first question, I thought was really exciting, but I never expected that. So what does that mean for this next question? Because it's quite provocative. The question is, should we capitalise on global conflict for investment opportunity? If so, what opportunities do you see? And how do you morally feel about doing so?
Yeah, brilliant question. So basically, is it right to profit off of something happening environmentally which is affecting people? And a good example for that would be look back at the people that were able to make the amount of money they made through COVID, such as 3M, and people who made masks and ventilators and visors and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and pharmacies.
Pharmacies, absolutely. I mean, I'll give you my opinion if you don't mind on this one, and then we'll see how you feel to that. But for me, I think there's an extent where yes, it is okay. To an extent. Now, if I see something happening in the news and I think that's going to have an effect on a certain asset, I will 100% act on that. So if I think an asset's going to go down, I look to short it. If I think it's going to make it go up, then yeah, I would absolutely look into invest into it. Now, if I could go back to 2019, knowing what I know right now, would I throw all of my savings into 3M? Yeah, yes, I would. I absolutely would, because I know for a fact, that money would boom in profit. Morally, ethically, you can't stop. It's not you putting money on it and making profit off it. Is it going to necessarily stop what's happening? Maybe not. Probably not. So yeah, is it a case of cutting one's own nose to spite the face, or what do you think, mate? What's your views on it?
Yeah, I like your honest answer. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and I'm going to go completely full gun ho honest. And I don't care at all. I think nice guys finish last. And if I see an investment opportunity that's going to make me a lot of capital, I'm investing in it because I know that there's money to be made, and I agree with the fact that I don't see it affecting the current situation anyway. And to be honest with you, I don't really care anyway, because as harsh as that sounds, I'm here to look after myself. I'm an adult, and I'm wise enough to know that no one else is going to put bread on my table for me and protect me. And I think that I'm I'm in the mindset of, yeah, I don't care. I think if there's an opportunity to be made, I'm going to do that. Now, of course, I'm not going to wrong someone. I know I sound really, really harsh, but I'm not going to wrong someone to make money. But I'm talking specifically about if a country is to get invaded, and I know they're about to get invaded, hypothetically, and I know they're a global supplier of oil, then I'll invest in oil.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I'm talking about, seeing an investment opportunity where, a country is abundant in that resource, and maybe this invasion is going to lock off that resource, so it's going to push the price up. I'm talking in that. And in that sense, no, I don't feel bad at all. I'm going to put all of my eggs into that basket, and I'm going to capitalize on it because I believe that's what smart investors do. Yeah, and I feel like, do you know what? It's nice to be that honest, and it's nice not to pretend that I'm not going to, do that because that's morally wrong or morally right. No, as an investor, my goal is to become financially wealthy and to be a successful entrepreneur. So, yeah, I think the honest answer is, yeah, I would capitalize on the economic turmoil in the markets if I was feeling confident about that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you there. I think, you said it right, mate. Nice guys finish last. And if you're not going to invest in something on a moral basis where, you're losing profit because of that, you can't moan about losing money down the line, can you? You know what I mean? I think at certain points you do have to detach yourself a little bit. People can definitely be too nice. You can definitely be too nice. If you're too nice, people will take advantage of you. I'm sure a lot of people in this community, because it's full of very, very nice, generous people in this community. I'm sure we've all come across that to an extent before. So yeah, the thing is, you're so far detached, aren't you? It's like it's not something that's affecting you. It is affecting other people, and obviously war is bad. Don't get me wrong, war is bad. But if something happens like that, and I can see an opportunity for me to make a little bit of a profit half the globe away, then yeah, I'm like you, mate. I would do the same thing.
Yeah. I think honesty is important in them topics of conversation, because it gives a lot of depth to the answer of the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumpy's just said, I don't even care about the money. I'm just a collector. Making money isn't my aim, and that's fine. I get that, Jumping. I get that. That's basically me when it comes to the physical stuff I've got. It's more of a collection than an investment to me. It is going up in value, and it is an investment as well. And don't get me wrong, I can't see the future. If something happened and I was destitute, I'm going to go and sell my stack at that point. You know what I mean? As much as I wouldn't want to sell it, it's there and it can be used if I ever needed to.
That's the whole point of it, right?
Absolutely. It's fair to have something of value in your life. Ideally, yeah, you get to keep, but nobody knows what life's going to do to you. And which would you rather be, in a position where you've got a load of silver and gold bullion that you don't want to sell, or you've got nothing?
Yeah, it comes back to that saying, doesn't it? It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's, to me, what gold and silver is, right? Like, I know I'm not going to get rich investing in gold, but I know it's going to keep me rich. And if the shit hits the fan, I know I'm much rather going to sell my gold than my S&P 500. So yeah, that's what it's there for. It's the backbone of my portfolio, and it's a protection device, right?
Yeah.
So
I've got to disagree a little bit there. I think you could. Yeah, I think you can get rich in gold. I think you can get rich in investing in gold if you start off early enough. So if you got people out there who are just starting, let's say they're 18 years old, gold's a great asset. I think if you've got enough time to invest into it, you'll make yourself rich, or what you consider to be rich yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. Actually, I suppose I'm being a bit short-sighted on that.
Yes,
I obviously invest in it, so I believe in it, and I believe it will make me money. But yeah, you are right. You're going to make a lot of money on it if you hold it long enough. And if you look at it like that, then yeah, you're going to get wealthy, because if you invest 10 grand now and hold it for 20 years, that's going to be a hell of a lot more money in 20 years. And that would, all add towards changing your financial lifestyle. So yeah, in that sense, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you mean. You can't. You can't get gold. It can't get rich off gold straight away. It would take a long time. It would. It would be one of those cases where you need decades to get there. But with any good asset, if you start off early enough, you've only got to invest something like 25 quid a month if you start when you're 18, and by the time you retire, you'll be a millionaire. Which I think is brilliant.
Sorry, I lost
no,
you
that's
there.
fine. If you start investing 25 quid a month when you're 18 years old, all you have to do is put 25 quid a month till retirement, and you'll be a millionaire. And I think that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
So if I only knew that when I was a teenager, my life would be different now. I would have put in at least 25 quid a month in. And when you think about it, when you're a bit more established and you've got a better job, you can start putting 50 quid a month in. If work goes well, and you depending on how successful you become, when you start putting 100 quid a month in. And just if you do it that way, just imagine what kind of retirement pot you'd be able to build for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you.
And it's
Time is massive.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier, doesn't it? About we don't teach this in school. Why the hell do we not teach that in school? Why the hell do we not teach that? You don't have to invest your money, but if you did, and you just did it this way, this is what you could achieve going down the line. I mean, it's far too many people find out about that. When they're in their 30s or their 40s, or maybe even the 50s or beyond, and it gets a lot harder when you're starting that much later in life. So it annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, we both don't have kids, but I often think, like, imagine if I had a kid and I passed this knowledge on to him, and I set him up an index fund in the S&P the day he was born. Holy shit, he's going to be like, it's going to be a different level of generational wealth by the time he's 40, and it comes back to that thing, doesn't it? You often see, I like the sort of the word old money. And what you see is, when you see like great manor estates and you look back through family trees and history, and there has to always be someone in the family to start the wealth, right? It doesn't just appear out of nowhere. Someone in a family tree becomes that person of wealth. And what you often see is these great manor estates. And it was a great granddad who was a multi-millionaire in the 1800s or something like that. And then as you look through the generations, the value of that estate throughout each generation gets lower and lower and lower. And then they've gone from, 4 generations ago, they were living in a manor estate in some lovely place in England with butlers and everything. And now they're living in a new build. And it's because what often happens is families and people often pass money down, but what they don't pass is the knowledge of how to make it, and more importantly, how to keep it. And that's because people all they care about is the actual monetary value of money. They don't think about how did they get it in the first place and how do I keep it. So I find it interesting when you see those family trees of like, God, they had extreme wealth, but now they're living in an end of terrace, because the knowledge wasn't passed down. And it's like what you said, going back to school, we're not taught that, unfortunately. And I wish we were, because Christ, our lives would be so much easier now.
Yeah. No, absolutely, 100%. I'm just going to go to a few comments we've had regarding this. Kimchi said something. I'll buy anyone's gold when the shit hits the fan while they keep their S&P. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone right now. How valuable do you think gold's going to be in a shit hits the fan situation? When people are struggling to eat, society's collapsed, and you need bread on your table. Is gold and silver really going to be that valuable at that point?
No, toilet paper will
Lighters, toilet paper, can of beans, bottle of water. Yeah. They'll be a lot more valuable. You go back and see photos from the Second World War where people are taking literal shopping trolleys full of cash to go and buy a loaf of bread. Because things like cash and gold and silver, it's a monetary item. It's not got any particular use. It's not going to benefit you in a SHTF situation. So I do question how much will that actually benefit you. Now, I've always said, even before I start putting money in the S&P 500, I made a joke about it, like, if for something to happen to destroy the S&P 500, the fact that the S&P 500 is based on the top 500 companies in the American market being the strongest economy on the planet, for something to happen to completely destroy the S&P 500, I don't care about my money anymore. I'm caring about surviving at that point. I don't care about what's in my account. I probably don't even care about how much gold and silver I've got. Based on whatever the situation is. But that's if, buts, and maybes, isn't it? And like we're saying this on the basis that it's not for a collapse of society. It's not. I'm not preparing for a doomsday scenario. I'm just preparing for the future. I just want to know that when I come to retire, when I'm no longer able to go out there and make money for myself, am I going to be comfortable? And for me, that's what it's about when it comes to investing. Now, I might lose, a doomsday might come and I might lose all of my investments. And if that happens, it happens. But I generally think in that situation, there's going to be more on my plate than worrying about the value of my assets. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. There was another comment as well. Rex said if you save money each month for when you're too old to benefit from it, then what's the point? That's true. That is true. Like there's a lot of truth to that. If it depends on how old you are, if you're already in your 60s, is putting a little bit of money every month in the S&P 500 the right thing to do? Maybe not. Probably not. If you're looking to make a return off that investment, you're going to have to look to short-term investments, and that's when it becomes more of a gamble, doesn't it?
I'm just looking at that comment. I'm looking at it from a different perspective because I think there's two ways to look at that, how he's written it. Obviously, you've taken it from the perspective of if you're already too old, what's the point in saving monthly? But I'm reading it as he's put it as if you've just saved money each month for when you're too old to benefit from it, then what's the point? I'm kind of feeling like he's saying as well, or the way I'm reading it is, why save all this time?
I get what you mean. But
why save all this time and then when you're an old man, you can't really enjoy it? Sorry,
just to interject. At what point in time do you become too old to enjoy your money?
Exactly. And what I will also say to that, right, is I've had a lot of people say these sort of things to me because I'm a finance man, right? And you get hit with negative things sometimes. Just because I talk about saving a lot doesn't mean I'm tight and I don't spend the rest of my money.
Yeah.
Because I'm a saver and an investor, I often talk about that. But people assume that because I save and I invest, it means that I don't actually have other pots of money to enjoy. Of course I do, because life's about balance, right? It's all about enjoying it too. I still go out and do lots of things every single month that I love. And this month I've done loads of stuff. Spent a lot of money on frivolous things that give me experiences. So I understand what that comment is saying in terms of like, if you're being super tight on yourself and you squirrel it all away and you don't have any enjoyment, what's the point? Because you're going to get old one day and then you'll be like, well, what was the point in that? I went through my 20s, 30s, 40s and it was pretty miserable. That I agree with. But because I think life is about balance, if you can afford to do both, then it's a bloody win-win. Like you said, why not prepare for the future? And if you can put yourself in a financial position, if you work hard enough and you have also good luck, you can squirrel away every month for your later life to have a great retirement, but you can still enjoy the now. You have to just work hard, right? You have to be consistent and also have a little bit of luck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everybody should be investing for the future, even if it's just a pension. Even if all you're doing is investing into a work pension. There's some fantastic work-based pensions out there now. These days, some of them you can't beat them when it comes to investments because you get things like the for every pound that you invest, the company will match it or the company will double it. And I've had some times where I've been in work and I've literally put £200 a year into an investment fund, and every single year because I'm playing the system. I'm getting thousands of pounds in the pension pot. So I definitely think, everyone should be looking to put at least a little bit away every month. Yeah, you should be enjoying life. Don't become a miser. Don't put every single penny into your investments and then sit there in a freezing cold house because you're not putting the heating on because that's money you could put in your investments. You're not going out and seeing anyone. You're just sitting there eating beans on toast every night because you're a penny pincher. I'm not saying to be like that. No, of course not. It's all about it's all about moderation, isn't it? It's all about finding that middle ground where you're enjoying yourself but you're still protecting yourself in the future, because it'll come.
Yeah, I mean,
go on, mate.
It comes with experience as well. I mean, I was wrong when I was young. I started being a saver, and I became that young person that squirrels it all away and didn't spend any money, and missed out on a lot of experiences. As I got older, I'm financially in a good position, but I also realised stop saving so much and enjoy money. And I tell you what, it was the best thing I ever did. Because you got to live as well, right? And you're a great saver, but you still got fantastic investments. But you still buy lots of wonderful collection pieces of precious metals. Why? Because you like it. It might not be the best investment, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That what matters to you is that you're enjoying what you're doing, and you're doing the best of both worlds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I've been known to literally say not everything's an investment. I might buy. I've got single ounces of silver that have cost hundreds of pounds because we're premium pieces. When people could turn around and say, you've just spent over £100 on 25 quid's worth of silver. It's like, well, yeah, because I enjoy it. I like it. How much do you pay for your TV or your Xbox or your PlayStation? Mm-hmm. There's a huge markup on all those items you have for your enjoyment. But, you're 100% right. A lot of times you've just got to look at things as something that in brightens your life a little bit, enriches your life, makes you happier, because you can't. One thing you definitely can't do is put a financial value on happiness. But, and I'm going to be honest again. I'm going to be honest. One thing that annoys me a little bit when you hear people say money can't buy you happiness. I disagree with that. I've got to be honest. I disagree with it. Although money can't, you can't go to a store and buy happiness with money. It's very, very, very difficult to be happy if you've got no money. If you're struggling to cover the bills, if you haven't got enough money to go out and enjoy yourself, money is quite fundamental when it comes to happiness in the modern world. Don't you agree with that?
Oh, mate, word for word. I think you hit the nail on the head. And the way I've tried to live my life is life is stressful enough as it is. Things will always come up. But if you've got money, that's one less thing to worry about. And I've had things in my life that have come up. But I'll tell you one thing I've never had to worry about is money. And it's because I've always lived by that. And I think, Christ, if I also had a money worry as well, I'd probably have a few less hairs on my head, a few more grey hairs, and a few more wrinkles. So
you'd look a bit more like me.
Yeah, I think. Well, you've got a couple of years on me, mate. So that's unfair on you. But we'll see what I look like when I'm 40.
Yeah, absolutely. But no. But one thing I like about you, you mentioned this earlier. I meant to say earlier, but I absolutely agree. You're so much better than me about not being emotionally attached to your physical gold and silver.
Yeah.
365 says, "Yo, you lads, kept this quiet." Oh, 365, it's great to have you. Si's here as well. I saw Si again, and anybody else.
And Cobra.
It's Cobra here too. Sorry, guys. How are we all doing? It's fantastic to have everyone here, and everyone else who I've not mentioned. We've been engaging in, and it's been a really engaging chat. I think we should cover some fantastic bits, haven't we?
Oh, mate, a lot of this you could clip into own videos. It's been that good tonight.
No, it has. I might have to make a few shorts out of it, but we'll try. Going forwards now, we'll keep more of an eye on the comments, guys. So I can see that not a single one of you has put a question in Stackers Social, guys. Come on, what are you doing? But yeah, we'll keep an eye more on the chat now, and if anyone's got any questions about what we were discussing or anything else, then let us know. I know, like Divinia said earlier, stocks and shares isn't for everybody. I know there's a lot of hardcore stackers and etc. So if you want to change the subject to more stacking or coins or bullion, then that's absolutely fine, guys. You let us know in the chat what you want to talk about, Guy. But yeah, no, I think mate, this is what I miss about having these live chats with you. It's we cover so many great topics.
I agree. I feel sorry for the people that have just joined like 365 because the first, I mean, 60 minutes of this have been so thrilling and so in depth and so debatable. It's been really fun, mate, and I'm like really enjoying it.
So it's like Vinny says. Imagine paying over £2,000 for a game console today, but some people do. Some people do. When the consoles come out brand new, when they're all bought out by the touters, and the only way you can get them is buying them online for the huge markups. I've seen so often when the brand new consoles come out, it's insane. It really is. I don't do gaming myself. I used to do a bit of gaming back in the day, but the cost of gaming these days is insane, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. Actually.
It's really not. I mean, you've got to buy the console, you've got to buy the game, then you've got to buy the online pass, and none of it is cheap. It's like it's nearly £100 for a game these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but yeah, if that's what makes you happy, if you're a gamer, then it goes back to what we were saying earlier. Davinia says, I was comparing the cost of buying an Atari to 2,600 in 1917 to what it would cost now. Yeah, 100%. I say this as well, Davinia. I'll say to my friends, but the Mega Drive cost a lot. It doesn't translate to what it costs now for a games console. Back in the day, I think a Mega Drive was something like 100 odd quid or something like that, brand new with a couple of games, etc. So yeah, a lot of things like that, especially technologically nowadays. You're paying a lot more for it, but you get a lot more, don't you? I mean, if you look at computer games nowadays compared to the Atari, which Davinia said, it's worlds apart, isn't it?
Oh, mate, the level is. I remember, I mean, the Atari was a bit before my time, but I remember Resident Evil coming out on the PlayStation. My older brothers had it. Not only did it scare the crap out of me, they definitely shouldn't have let me play it. But you would walk and it would be like side on, and they're walking down a hallway. Yeah. Now you've got VR. I mean, everything's online and it's easy as well. There's no dial up. Everything's just I mean, the way technology has advanced in the last 100 years, we've gone from bloody learning how to fly to F-22 Raptors that are basically
now,
alien technology.
F-33 now, buddy.
F-33 is that the British
one?
No,
it's American.
Oh, okay, because I didn't know there was an F-33.
Sorry, F-35. F-35, I do apologise.
Oh, F-35.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you seen the aircraft that we as Britain have created? It's supposed to be the next sixth generation.
I know we're working on a new generation of fighter. We've got a new next generation rifle replacing the SA-80 at long last. We've got the next generation aircraft carriers in the Queen Elizabeth class, and we've also got a new generation of submarines, which is I think it's only. The only other country that's got comparable subs is America as well. So it looks like we're putting a bit of money in military. I wonder if that's got anything to do with a certain Russia-Ukraine war.
Yes, I wonder. I mean, I must admit, I'm glad to see the SA-80 is finally being replaced, and the Royal Marine Commandos, some of the more specialised units in the Royal Marines have already been issued that rifle. Not the general Royal Marines, but some of the more specialised brigades, which is great to see. And I've watched actually there's a YouTuber I like called Grand Fun. Okay, he's done a review on it.
Yeah. Do you know that's a thing? That's a thing, Grand Fun? It's a medical condition.
Yes, it is, because of the rifle in World War II. They used to catch their thumbs on the retracting bolt system. Yeah,
it'd pinch them on the thumb, and that's where the term grand thumb comes from. We've got a question in Stacker Social. If we nip across, we can see that Villainous Bounty says, "Hey guys, brand new stacker here. What would you recommend for any want-to-be stacker out there? Would you shy away from gold in the early stage?" I think that's a brilliant question. Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, well, it's great that you're asking the question in the first place. If anything, I would say don't shy away from gold in the first place. My personal opinion would be shy away from silver. if you're in the UK, that is, because of the premiums and the VAT we pay. It's ridiculous, 20%. It really hampers your investment. Whereas if you're buying legal tender gold, which would be any coin minted by the Royal Mint, so a sovereign or a Britannia, for example, it would be capital gains tax exempt. So if you were to say buy a 1 ounce golden Britannia, it's going to set you back just over £2,000 now. But the return on that investment is going to likely be very good over the next 2, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And in that time, you're also hedging against inflation, and the value of that coin is being protected at the same time. Whereas silver is a much lower value investment. There's much higher premiums and there's VAT on it as well. So silver is more of an investment where you might be looking to bet against the market in the hope that silver value increases because it's in high demand. But gold is more of a wealth preservation and a wealth improvement as an investment. So I would say instead of shying away from gold, actually buy gold instead. That would be my advice. But listen, I'm not a financial advisor. That's just going on my own, personal opinion on the matter. But what about you, Stack Collector? Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think it goes back to what we've been saying all night. What are you looking for as an individual? Do you want a huge stack? Do you want something that you can look down on and it makes you feel good seeing it become this massive stack of precious metal? That's silver. You will have a much more aesthetically pleasing stack if you go down the silver route rather than the gold route. But if you're looking at it just as an investment, 100%, I think personally gold is a better investment than silver when it comes to physical metals for a number of reasons. One, you pay a much lower premium when it comes to gold, generally speaking, than you do with silver. Obviously, you've got the smaller amount you buy, the more premium you're going to be paying. So the premium on a 1 gram piece will be a lot higher percentage than the premium on a half ounce or 1 ounce full gold piece. But I do still think that that gold is a better investment. At least, in my opinion, my honest personal opinion, I think gold's a better investment than silver. So I definitely would agree with you, Future, not to shy away from gold. Buy as much gold as you can, basically. But if you like silver as well, if you like silver coins, then go down that route. Because when take me for example, I've said it. I don't really see my silver coins as an investment. It's more of a collection. But the fact that I like them and the fact that I like collecting them means that I'm more inclined to buy them. So I'll have more. If it's something that I love, I'll keep buying it. I'll keep going back and buy. Oh, I like that design. I'll buy that. I like that design. I'll buy that, and that can motivate you into buying more pieces. So again, it is very individual. But if you're looking at it, if you're looking at stacking as a way to build wealth and hedge against inflation, etc., definitely don't shy away from it. Buy as much gold as you can when you can. But yeah, no, I think you said that very, very well there, mate. Just going to go back to the comments very quickly. Let's have a look. Where are we? Kimmy says, I would say FI is in his late 20s, early 30s at the most, and hasn't lived through what I have as an economics, politics and history student. I may well be the case, Kimsey, but I'm going to be honest with you. I do tend to agree with pretty much everything Future said tonight. I think what you've said, it covers a lot of the building blocks or the ground base of investing, and like Future said, we're obviously not financial advisors, but we've been investing money for some time, a number of years, and it's working. What we're doing is working. Like Future says, his S&P account is 20% in profit. As an investor, you should be looking to make about 10 to 13% per year minimum of your investment. So you're smashing that. So there's obviously something to what you're saying. Do you know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that comment. And listen, that's what makes a good investor, right? Is not being closed-minded. Yeah. You want to be open-minded. Yes. And I believe I'm confident in what I know, and I've had some successes. But that doesn't mean I'm not open to being taught more. And even tonight, talking to you, TSC, when you was talking about gold and silver ISA shares, you changed my opinion on that in the first 2 minutes of you talking about it. So, Yeah, obviously, I've got, a lot. I'm a lot younger than some investors, so it's fair for them to say they've got more experience. But experience doesn't always, guarantee, um, you know, being correct.
Yeah.
And it's just the same with youth doesn't always guarantee innovation. Um, I think it's important to be open-minded to accept the fact that you know what you know, but also accept what you don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm always sort of listening.
Absolutely, no, absolutely. I'm not saying what Kimchi said earlier is necessarily incorrect either. It all depends.
And by the way, I very much appreciate what you said. I appreciate it.
No problem, mate. No problem. The problem is, we don't know what's going to happen. So we don't truly know what we're investing for, do we? And depending on what did happen, there might be an instance where a brokerage goes down. If that does happen, that's it's gut wrenching. It's soul destroying, because you can see these brokers are covered by insurance companies. Those insurance companies will have it'll be a claim amount. There'll be a amount covered under those policies that the insurance company will pay out, regardless of how much money is actually in the brokerage. That money will then get shared out between the people who make the claim. So you might have 3 million in a brokerage, and then you get 750,000 back through the insurance claim. So even with the insurances in place, there are still definite risks there. But it's like I said earlier, you've got to weigh these risks up and see what is the likelihood of a brokerage going down and going under. And a good brokerage right now, I don't think that's a huge risk. It may change in the future, and if I see that starting to change, I'll definitely be open to think we'll start taking the money out there and start buying actual physical metals. Again, that all depends on what happens. But like I said earlier, the reason I'm looking into this is very much the same as future. We're just trying to build up a nest egg for the future when we look to retire and when we look to do that things. Now, that's not to say that I don't have other things going off at the same time. Like Future said, you've got to have more than one, not more than one egg in a basket. You've got to have more than one basket with different eggs in the baskets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100,
well said.
100%, yeah. And I'm very much like that. I've got my online brokerages. I've got my my precious metals, but I've also got other things that I've got money tied up in and sat there. So yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's all we can do is give our opinions and let you know what kind of experience that's based upon. But yeah, that's why it's a very difficult one when it comes to investing. But I do think there's some good what's the word I'm looking for? Some good ground rules, really. It's not the ideal word, but yeah, a good few ground rules to build upon, and then do your own thing above and beyond that. Yeah, 365 says both backdrops are looking on fire. Thank you very much, 365. I appreciate that. I love the sleek elegance of your backdrop, Future. It's very very simple but very sleek. I do like that. Very classy looking. Jamie's not doing well on his investments. He invested in a bottle of Chivas yesterday, and he's lost 50% of his investment already. I don't think that's a right way to invest in liquors, but it's a fun way to do it. It definitely is a fun way to do it. Davini says, I think I paid 130 for a Mega Drive back in about that. I know I said 100 quid. I think I meant to say 120, but yeah, about 130 is not bad at all. Let's have a look. Where are we? Mega Drive, yeah, Kimchi just said Mega Drive 120, so yeah, about on the nose there. True Legend says, yeah, my beer investment really isn't going well. Absolutely, 100%. And people complain about paying £400 for a games console now. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. Same as I say, when they're brand new, they can go for thousands. It's insane when they're brand new, and you've got people literally camping outside of electric stores for like a week nowadays, haven't you, just to get the new. Have you seen like the videos of people walking down around America with an empty PS5 box?
No.
Yeah, there's loads of.
What?
They're just getting mugged. Just getting mugged straight away, mate. And that's the point of the video.
Oh, when they've bought one.
Yeah, they bought a PS5. And then they take the empty box out, and someone's filming them, and they're walking around, and people are just coming up to them like, oh what's that? Is that pulls a gun on them? It's like, wow, like it's an empty box, mate. It's an empty box, but yeah, it's crazy when the new, and also phones as well. The same thing happens when we get the new iPhones out, don't they? You get people queuing up for half a year to get it straight away. It does rattle me sometimes. Pat your head and rub your belly. Jamie's standing on one leg, says BBA. Love that BBA. That's brilliant. There's different variation of the F-35s. So there is as well. There absolutely is different variations of F-35s. I think the latest iteration of it is being worked on at the moment. But both the F-35 and the F-22, absolutely fantastic weapons of war. Insane, they really are. Yeah. Still, we've still got the stealth bomber, haven't they? Which, do you know that never gets used with stealth bomber? They never use this.
Yeah, what's the name of it? The Blackbird, isn't it? Blackbird?
Yeah, is it Bat 22? Something like that is the actual designation of it. But yeah, Blackbird.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's one that's called the Blackbird, the diamond-shaped one, and it's considered as a first act of war weapon because it's got it can't be picked up by radar because they're not able to pick up radar signature, but the more they use it, the more they risk other people being able to pick up the radar signature, and as soon as they're able to do that, it loses all of its stealth benefits. So it's very, very rarely used. It's got a kitchen on board, it's got a bedroom on board. That thing can fly for hours and hours and hours non-stop. It's absolutely insane. It really is. 36x5 says, I invest in whiskey. My returns are currently sitting at minus 100%. There you go. I love it. I love it. I have considered investing in whiskey in the past. There are some good investments.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah, and when you invest in the barrels through the actual through the distilleries, it's a future, isn't it? Basically, it's just the same as any other future. You can buy a future in oil or so many other things, but whiskey can be a very good investment.
Yeah, I've seen the distillery investment ads pop up, and I don't drink whiskey, but I mean they sell it to you. They sell the advertisement very well.
They do, yes, they do. Yeah, no, I've always been quite interested in it. I don't drink at all anymore, but I do know that was a good price on whiskey. Where's all the Sheffield? Keep knocking my table. Where's all the Sheffield people tonight? I need to know if all the Sheffield people are here, Stephen and Louise and Lothar, etc. Because I was rocking through Sheffield last night. I was on a date and we went to Sheffield and I went to a really nice bar. It was quite quiet. It was called Cuckoo. That was quite nice. And then we went to a Latino restaurant and bar called I think it's called Cabana or Cubana, as in Cuban and Cabana. I think it was a mix of them. It was a really, really nice meal. It really was, and I had a lot of fun with that. But the reason I bring it up is my date was telling me. She was telling me that the restaurant we went to had like a list of 300 different rums that they served, and they've got one there that's just for a shot of it's like 300 quid.
Holy moly!
Yeah, you just think, wow, that's for your high roller, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's for people who have got money to spend when you're spending that much on a shot of whiskey.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. High rollers doing that.
Yeah, 100%. But look, Louise, I've seen you in the chat. Let me know, have you ever been to Cuckoo or to Cubana? They're very, very nice. Very nice place. I had a good time in Sheffield last night. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, you had octopus, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I had fried octopus for the first time ever. I've had squid before, and I know I quite like squid, but I've never actually had octopus. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go.
Now, what was it? Was it a whole octopus, or was it its tentacles? Was it like sat on a plate?
So it was most of it was chopped tentacles, so chopped into little chunks. But there was like a whole tentacle on top of it.
Right, and they were fried.
Yes, yeah, fried beautifully, really well. I got a photo of it. I'll send you a photo after the live chat because I'm on my phone at the moment. Let's have a look. I've lost my chat again, guys. It annoys me when OBS does this. It just flicks me ahead to the most recent chat. Let's have a look. Where were we? I'll start here. Coin Noob says, don't you get 5p back on the bottle like the fizzy Corona bottles? Can you remember, that used to be brilliant. You know, when you used to have to be able to save your bottles and get money back on your bottles?
And that was actually before my time. I never got to do it.
You say that, but a lot of the places still do it now. But it's where do you return the bottles from? Because I know a lot of bars, people who work in bars will know this. You know, you get told off if you put the wrong glass bottle in the wrong bin. Oh, we get money back for those. What you throwing them away for? There's a crate for them round out back. You know, so it does still happen. Yeah, really? It does still happen from time to time, especially with bars. But yeah, back in the day, you could take your empty Newcastle Barn bottles back down to the shop with you, and you get money off your next purchase. So 100% Griff, 100% there, mate. Let's have a look what else we've got. True Legend says we'll probably get banned discreetly. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, True, but if it's something that we're making money off and the government can't tax, it'll definitely get banned at some point. That's how the governments work. Coin Noob, if only I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. Says 365. That's how many bottles he's drunk. Vinny's fan says, thank you for your input, future investments. Yeah, 100%. You know, Future is a young guy, but you can see him doing the right thing. You know, I can remember when I found your channel, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying this. Your channel's changed a lot since you started it, hasn't it?
Oh, massively, yeah, actually.
Yeah, because when you started your channel, you hadn't even invested in any stocks and shares as of yet, had you? You were
Nope.
sticking to precious metals, and then you've discovered investments, and you've read a lot of investment books, haven't you? And it's been a very enjoyable journey to watch that. What if you could pick just one investment book out of your library investment books? If you could pick just one, the rest of them had to go to room 101. They're going to get burnt. No one's ever going to see them again. Which one would you save and why?
Oh my God, that's such a good question. Oh my God, probably. Oh God, probably. Oh, I'm gonna have to say How to Own the World by Andrew Craig. Okay. Yeah.
So
I want to say Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Compound Effect, but the actual financial knowledge that was crammed into that How to Own the World book was ridiculous. So I'd say that would be the one.
And what would you say would be the number one take back from How to Own the World?
I would say the number one take back would be how he was so in belief about diversification and his love for index funds. And basically, it was something that I was already investing in, but it gave me a wealth of confidence that I was doing the right thing. So, yeah, it would be the reinforcement of the right thing being diversification and index funds. And it's to this day, it's still made me want to be more diversified in my portfolio, because I believe I'm still under diversified in my investment portfolio. So yeah, it would be diversification, to be honest.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, as I said earlier, for me, diversification is something that you absolutely have to have in your portfolio. But just be careful you're not over diversifying yourself and you're not losing money in some assets that could be in the assets that are already performing well. But same as I say, like if the only thing you invest in is the S&P 500, you're already diversified across 500 different companies as it stands anyway, aren't you? So
exactly.
Yeah, but I do agree.
I never really understood people that, and you might be the devil's advocate here and give me a good reason to why people do it. But you know, some people invest in the S&P 500 and then they buy, you know, like Tesla stock and Meta, and there's still money to be made in buying those individual stocks, but you're already holding it in the S&P 500. Or if you're buying the S&P 500 and you buy a global fund, if you actually look into that global fund, 9 times out of 10, 80-70% of that global fund is all of what's in the S&P 500 anyway. So
So for
Yeah,
that,
it covers so
so
much.
for that, it basically goes back to what I was saying about don't over diversify, but it's taking it to the extreme. So what you're doing there is you're looking at the S&P 500, you're seeing which individual stock, and I'm not saying Tesla necessarily is, but this is what those people are trying to achieve. You look at which individual stock is performing the outright best out of the S&P 500, and then instead of putting all the money in S&P 500, put it all into that one stock. It's a lot higher risk because if that one
Yeah,
stock goes down, all your money goes down. You haven't got that safety net, but there is also a potential for a lot higher reward as well. Again, this is where we go back to it. We're starting to gamble with our investment a little bit more than we are just sitting on it and hoping for it to go up. Because we've all seen the videos. If you're into stocks and shares anyway, you will have seen the videos of people losing tens of £1,000s in Tesla in seconds, just watching it plummet, because Tesla is known for being a very volatile stock. Now, volatility is not necessarily a bad thing. The higher the volatility, the more potential to make profit. But wherever you're increasing the potential to make profit, you're also going to be increasing the potential to lose profit as well. So
yeah,
that's one way why people would go into an individual company when that company it's probably one of the larger companies in the S&P 500 anyway. But then there's a middle ground between those two, which is what I do with. And that's where you're looking at the hedge fund. So you've got a manager there who's using the companies in the S&P 500, but they're saying, okay, these three companies are doing by far the best, so we're going to do 15% on just those companies, and then we'll spread the rest of the percentage of the investment across the other companies being the S&P 500, and that can work well. And hedge funds aren't necessarily the best way to go. With my hedge fund being based on the S&P 500 anyway, I find it works for me, and I've seen very, very good gains, especially in the last year on that. So there's things to consider there. That's one of the benefits of a hedge fund, where it just tweaks the allotment per company a little bit, but again, the ideal way to invest goes back to putting everything you can at the best time on the best asset. But how do you know that? There's no way of we don't have crystal balls, and there's no way of knowing that in the future, and that's why we look to start to diversify our funds just as a safety net. So if one company fails, the other companies are still holding up your investment, and still one company like Tesla could have massive loss, but your S&P 500 account still has profit. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
I agree with you there. You explained it perfectly, and it makes me think of your analogy earlier, where you said, people like to say, don't put all of your eggs into one basket, which is true. But what you said was, don't not only put all of your eggs in one basket, but have multiple different
Yeah.
baskets. And that's how I try and look at my portfolio. So when I spend a lot of time thinking and researching before I get committed to an investment vehicle, right? And when I do invest, I make sure that investment is not similar to anything else I've got in my portfolio. So an example would be, I've got the S&P 500. That's the UK. That's the United States economy.
Yeah.
Then I spent a lot of time looking for my next index fund, and that became the FTSE 100, and that was the UK economy. Now, to me, that's very different, because yes, they're both index funds, but I'm investing in two globally different sectors, globally different markets. That's what I'm looking for in my portfolio. And when I look for my third index fund, it's going to be something completely different from those two.
Yeah.
Now, I like to believe that is very much a case of not only putting all of my eggs in one basket, but I'm putting different baskets together. I don't like my investment vehicles to be close together in terms of similarity, because I feel like there's more risk with that. I want it to be diversified by keeping them distant from each other. But with yourself, do you approach it in the same manner?
Yeah.
And how does your current portfolio reflect that sort of comment that I've just made?
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right there. Put your eggs in different baskets, and like you say, have very different kinds of investments, and I've got my S&P 500. I'm still putting money in my premium bonds, believe it or not. So that's another. It's a completely different way of making money off of premium bonds. As it's a lottery system. It's a raffle system. You can win money every month with the premium bond money. So I've got money into the premium bonds. They normally say when you've got thousands of pounds in premium bonds, that the return you will get should be savings accounts, but it's a little bit of fun. It's a pot of money that I will go to before anything else to take the money out. There's the gold and silver, which again, I've said it, I'm buying it as a collection, but just because it's a collection doesn't stop it being an investment as well. And it's like I said earlier, if I came to a situation where I was forced to sell it, I do have it there to sell. So there's other things as well. I like to keep an open mind. If I can see something that I think's an emerging market or something like that, I'm looking at. I'm very interested in AI. Another thing I'm very interested in is the cannabis market. Now, regardless of what your moral views are on cannabis, if cannabis becomes legal in the UK, there's going to be a lot of money to be made off it. A lot of money. It's an industry that'll be created overnight. And if you're in a position where you're there and able to get in at the ground floor, which you will be able to do if they do legalise cannabis, then that is something that will be a very, very profitable investment. Look at people like Mike Tyson. He made so much money off of his cannabis. He made a line of cannabis products. Again, that is depending on the law changing and it becoming legalised. I see it happening in the future. You look at Canada. Canada now has cannabis legal for recreational usage. So does many states in the US. It's recreational. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be for medical purposes. We already have in the UK that cannabis is already legal for medical purposes, which is kind of the that seems to be the stepping stone into recreational. Like places seem to make it legal for medical use first, and then it goes further from that. So I'm just using it as an example of something that could happen, and if it did happen, that's the kind of thing you want to look at when it's a brand new change. It's something that hasn't been there before. That's the kind of investment where you can make a lot of money off it. You really can. So it's exactly like you say. It's keep your eggs in different baskets. Look at completely different kinds of investments, and it goes back to what I said earlier. There's a million different ways to make money. There's literally millions of different things out there that you can invest in. And I agree with you, mate. Keep it different. Make it so if one of your assets completely got wiped out, you've still got assets that you can fall back on. Like if my brokerage fell down tomorrow completely and it just went bust and I lost everything, I haven't lost everything because I haven't got all my investments in that. And if lo and behold, and hypothetically speaking, silver and gold went to zero overnight, then I've still got something in my other different types of assets. What's the likelihood of silver and gold going to zero? Extremely slim, but not zero. I mean, all that would have to happen is for us to figure out a way to synthesize silver or gold. And as soon as that happens, as soon as it can be produced and it doesn't have to be mined, then that will take out the value of it. Now, that's science fiction right now, but how many things of science fiction have we seen come to fruition, such as artificial intelligence and what that's now able to do? So it's definitely not a zero. The other thing is, and I was literally reading an article about this the other day, about some meteors that are in our solar system. There was one, and the basis of the article was that if mankind, if we combined all our assets and ingenuity, if we all came together, got this one asteroid, this one known of asteroid that we absolutely know is out there and exists, if we could get this one, split it down and then split the value of it based on the metal content of the asteroid, every single person on the planet would receive £1.5 billion. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So going into the future, what we're going to, is it possible that we may be able to actually grasp one of these asteroids, bring it closer to Earth, and start mining off planet? Is that something that's going to happen in the future? I think that 100% will happen in the future. It might be 1,000 years in the future. That I don't know, but I do 100% believe at some point in the future we will be mining off planet, because there's so much resource out there, so much more than that is actually just contained in the Earth.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it'll be far less. I know you were just kind of, you didn't mean exactly, but I think it will be far less than 1,000 years.
Yeah.
I think it'll be sooner than people
absolutely,
think.
Yeah.
I think 100% we'll be mining off asteroids and on different planets, and I feel like, if I'm honest, I feel like when we're very, very old men in our final days, I wouldn't be surprised if we were in, like very, very old men watching the TV and we hear the news that they've just landed on an asteroid and they've just started mining it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
You look at the difference between the first flight to now we've got, the Raptors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unfathomable.
It is. And that kind of mentality I think about all the time. Prior to the Wright brothers, mankind will never fly. People will never fly. It's not possible for people to ever fly. And then along comes the Wright brothers and other people who create that industry. And then, like you say, all of a sudden we've now got supersonic flight, and we're working on another commercial jet that is supersonic. It'll be the first commercial jet to be supersonic since Concorde, and that's being worked on right now. So look at that. And then one more closer to home, maybe not so much for yourself, Future, but I like you say, I'm a little bit older, and I absolutely remember growing up as a kid in the 90s and people saying, yeah, but a computer, because artificial intelligence existed back in the 90s. It wasn't what it is today, but it did exist. You had computers like Big Blue I think that was a chess computer, and that learnt on its own, and it was able to learn from other people's moves, and it got better and better over time because of the experience that it was able to pick up for itself. So Deep Blue, not Big Blue, Deep Blue, sorry. And so there was things like that in the news, and people were looking at it and like, oh, one day computers will do this and that and the other. And people used to say, yeah, but a computer will never be able to paint a painting. A computer will never be able to compose a piece of music, because computers can't do these things. You have to have a human soul to be a creative and be able to create a piece of art. And look at some of the pieces of art and composed music that's being produced by AI right now. It's insane. So I very rarely look at anything and say, oh, we'll never be able to do that, because that's been said throughout the history of mankind, and most of the times, if not every single one of them, the people who said we'll never be able to do it have been proven wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Categorically agree.
Absolutely. And it's another reason why, nobody's 100%. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. There's things that could affect every single type of investment, which is another reason why it's good to have different types of investment, completely different types of investments, like what you've mentioned yourself, mate. I completely agree with that, buddy.
I mean, that's why I called the channel Future Investments, right? It's always from the day dot, even when my knowledge back then was very minimal on investing, if non-existent, I was already thinking about the future, because that's the way you got to look, right?
Yeah. I didn't.
And
I'm going to be honest with you, mate. I didn't. I was one of it. I mean, there's many people out there who are like me. You're young, you think you're immortal, and you think you're going to live forever. And why should I think about my pension right now when that's so long away? I'm in my 20s. Who wants to think about the pension in the 20s? And I was so wrong. I wish I had more of a mentality like yourself, where, in my 20s I was thinking, okay, but what am I going to do back then? What if the job I have right now isn't the job I have in 10 years' time? What if my career takes a bit of a dive? What would I do at that point? And I didn't. I thought I was immortal. I thought I was never going to get. Nothing was ever going to touch me. And I think a lot of people fall victim to that, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. It's the common way of thinking, and that it's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
But on a more positive note, what I do think, to look to the future, AI is the
Yeah.
next big
Yeah.
investment vehicle. But my knowledge on it is
Well,
terrible. I have next to no knowledge on it. But I think that when I add the next big deal to my portfolio, it's got to be AI
yeah. Yeah.
related.
I mean, yeah.
Do you believe in that? And if you do you have any, I'm trying to sift some knowledge from you here, maybe if you have, or anyone in the comments, but do you think there's a good opportunity there? And if so, what could it be for investing in AI?
Yeah, no, great question. And KYH has put a question in the comments saying, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of AI. What about yourself? Which I think leads into this very well. Now, personally, on a moral basis, I think I don't think as a species we're mature enough for AI yet. I think it's something that's going to, like you say, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to change the world, but are we ready for it yet? I don't know if we are. So I'm not, I'm not completely, AI is the best thing ever, etc., etc. There's a lot of dangers when it comes to AI. When you've got a system that can think for itself, you're losing a lot of control. And it's like, you're a driver, aren't you, Future? So you'll know what I mean. Like, you can drive. I'm not going to say you've ever gone above the speed limit, because obviously you would never do that, Future. I understand that. But you could drive down the motorway at 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, and you're perfectly fine. You're there. You're in control behind the wheel. Put yourself in the passenger seat, and how quickly does that change?
Yeah,
because you're not in control anymore. It's scary because you don't have access to that steering wheel, and that's kind of AI right now. We're giving this system. We're going to give the systems the driving, the steering wheel, and that does scare me a little bit. I'll be honest, it does scare me a little bit. Now, it's not. I could be completely wrong, and there could be no problems with it in the future whatsoever. But one thing I do think of is all the historical scientific innovations that were started for good, such as TNT, such as the atomic bomb, and were weaponized. And as a species, we people used to say, as a species, the first thing that goes through our head is, can I eat with it? Can I sleep with it? Will it kill me? And I think the truth is, we think, can I eat it? Can I sleep with it? Can it kill me? But I also think we automatically look at stuff and, can I kill with it? And we do, as a species, we absolutely do. You can look at the history of inventions, and it'll show that. So that's my personal opinion on AI. Going back to your question, which I know I've gone on a bit of a tangent from, but your question about where to make the money in AI, it's not clear cut right now. It's very difficult because it's there's things like OpenAI, but then OpenAI is open source technology, isn't it? So we're if it would be best if it would be easy. Sorry, if it was like one clear company like ChatGPT that you could just look to invest into. I would say something like, if you can invest in something like OpenAI or ChatGPT, then I think they're as good as any right now. Other than that, you've got to start looking at what products are going to be made massively different through the introduction in AI to an already existing product. So an example of that would be for self-driving cars, etc. Now, AI is going to have a huge impact on things like self-driving cars or how things function. So keep your eyes open. Look to see, if you see something hit the market, which now all of a sudden you used to have to do all this stuff to work it, but now it just sits in the corner. It brings stuff to you or whatever, and look for things like that. But the way AI has been integrated in society, it's not the clearest cut of where to put your money with AI. I'd be really interested to see everyone's opinions on where you should put money to invest in AI, because generally would be really interested in that. But yeah, it is a difficult one. I'm kind of in the same place as you right now, where I'm keeping an eye out on AI. I definitely need to look into it more, and with an eye of how and where can I make money from it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't have a great answer for you right now on that one, but like yourself, mate, I definitely feel like I need to look into that more.
Yeah, I think that's a fair answer. I'll put you on the spot a little bit, but I agree with you. It's very open ended at the
Yeah.
moment, but that's the point, isn't it, of what makes it a good investment? If you find the investment before the mainstream public make it public knowledge, and that's what I'm desperately trying to do right now. But yeah. It's a tricky one.
No, it is, and it always is, mate. It always is, and you're absolutely right, Duck Race. I'm only 3 minutes late. We're only 3 minutes late, but you're all absolutely right. But before we go to that, Baron Vansky has put a question here. He's put, just wondering, Stat Collector, if someone asked you to do some work for them but pay you in gold or silver for the job, would you do it? I have. That's how I've got one of my sovereigns, actually. I did some work for somebody, and they did me a sovereign at a great price. So yeah, I'd be well up for that, well open to that. I think barter is something that was taken away from us as a society 1,000 years ago, and I think we could do with a lot more barter in society than just relying on the the money. That we have to buy things, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I would be well up for someone paying me to do a job in gold. The only worry I would have is is it definitely real gold? You know what I mean. I'd have to be 100% sure that there's no risk that it's a fake piece or anything like that. But yeah, 100%, mate. I would be well up for taking payment in gold. What about you, Future?
I haven't ever taken payment in gold or silver. I probably would, though, if I was doing a job. I would want the service that I'm giving, I would want a good deal on the precious metal if it was payment, purely because it's a payment that I'm not deeming as cash right now. So I think there's an element of you would need to give it to me at a lower value than normal, because it's an item that I wasn't particularly looking for, although I know it's got value. So yeah, I would take it, but I would want a good deal on it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, I got it for a good deal. I think I got mine for just over 300 when they were going for like between 330 and 350, something like that. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah. And that wasn't that long ago either. How much they've gone up just from then. But guys, we're late. Future, we are 6 minutes late. So without any further hesitation, let me hit that button, and we are now in the duck races, mate. So we've got 34 people, as you can see. Rex, I've just added you in there. So Future, it's up to you. Do you want to call the time, or do you want somebody in the chat to pick that for us?
I would like to call the time. I would like to give it 1 minute, please.
1 minute dead. No worries. Okay, 1 minute. There we go. And same question for the shuffles. Do you want to call it or give it to the chat?
I'm going to say the first person in the YouTube live chat to pick a number can have the shuffle.
There you go, guys. From now, first one to put the number in there. There we go. KYH is straight in with 6. There we go. Stop jumping around you. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It seems like the correct answer would have been 2, because I noticed we would have got Wiggy on that one. Oh, I do love you, Wiggy. You need to come back and see us. It's been too long. But there we go. We've got a lovely, lovely selection of ducks. We've got Sherlock duck, Unicorn duck, Policeman duck, Bumblebee duck, Legionnaire duck, King duck, Top Hat duck. So yeah, we've got a good selection there. So if you can count down from 3, buddy, as soon as you say go, I will hit that button and we will start tonight's duck race.
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to go 3, 2, 1. Go.
And they are off, and straight away it looks like the top duck there is in the lead. I don't know who that is. I can't even see the number, so I do not know. But it looks like he's been overtaken by Punk Duck, Kimchi right there. But as soon as I say it, they pull back just to keep me on my toes. It's now Tech Arcus, number 30, in the lead very briefly as we come up to the final 40 seconds of the race. It is now Bob the Builder Duck with his trowel in hand leading the way, but he is being chased right now by Sean Brennan, Purple Spotty Duck, who has the lead. 30 seconds to go. We are 10 seconds away from all change, and then we will see where this race is going to go. But right now, it looks like it's Azstacker at 31 in the lead, but they are all grouped very well. 20 seconds, and there you go. You see what I mean? They all start to change as 20 seconds just to keep me on my toes. But we are now coming into the final 10 seconds of the race. There we go. So, with 9 seconds left to go, is anyone going to make a break for it? Who's going to make a break for it? Well, we've got a few people, so this could be anyone. We've got a group of them charging through the end, but it looks like it's going to be Sean Brennan. It is. It's Purple Duck, number 11, Sean Brennan for the win. Congratulations. Were you blowing a kazoo there? Did you just blow a kazoo?
No, I was trying to move my phone because it needs to go on charge, and I was being very quiet.
Sounded like a kazoo. But congratulations, Sean Brennan. Congratulations. That's fantastic work, buddy. And yeah, if you could just get your address over to me via either DM on Stacker Social or email. In fact, I've got it here. So let me put into Stacker's Social. 1 second. Congrats on the duck race at Sean. Sean, we've got Sean Brennan in there. I don't know. No, okay. I can't tag him unfortunately. But Sean, if you are watching, get at me, and I will get your absolutely wonderful duck race winnings over to you, and we'll quickly go through them one last time. Shut up, I've got a duck quacking in my ear. I've just got to close him down. There we go. Brilliant. So we'll go through the bundle one last time. We've got the Primo Prepper sticker, got a Stack Collector sticker, you've got a Stackers Social sticker, a Tech the Coin Hunter magnet, Stackers Social poker chip, Cardiff Gold poker chip, Cardiff Gold sticker. You've got a Tech the Coin Hunter bottle opener. You've got a copper nickel crown for the royal wedding of Princess Diana Spencer and Prince Charles, as donated by Blistering Barnacles Adventures. Tech's donated the St. Paul's £2, the Coronation 50p, and I have also popped in the 1955 florin, the 1964 penny, the Rogers Bannister 50p. As provided by Jamie, we've got the 17th century Japanese won coin. You've got a 1936 500 silver threepence, and you've also got a Backyard Bullion 1 gram fine silver bargain chip as well. So well done, Sean. Congratulations to you on that one, mate. And as I say, get at me with your address, mate. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so yes, that's the duck race out of the way. What's this BBA said? I have some more stuff for you for Gores TSC. We'll get out at some point. Oh, well, thank you very much, BBA. That's very, very generous of you. It is very generous for everyone who donates towards the duck races. It does make the bundle a little better. So I do really appreciate that. Jumping says, can Silver Coin Stacker get in touch to claim his winnings? My 150 sub Gore. There you go. Silver Coin Stacker. You need to get at Jumping into Silver. You've got some goodies on the way, mate. And yeah, if you get at him, he'll get them back to you. Yeah, no, fantastic. So we'll Sean. Oh, Sean is. I didn't know Sean was Baron. Oh well, let me edit that then. Where are we? Edit back to Baron. In fact, I'll leave it as Sean Brennan because Baron's with us, so he should know. There we go. Thumbs up. So lucky. There you go, Baron. Baron knows. Baron, I didn't know you were Sean. I do apologise, my friend. I've had 2 parcels sent by Jamie, and they both got lost. Says Tech the Coin Hunter. Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Tech. Hopefully they will turn up. I had to replace a bundle that BBA won, and he ended up coming through the system ages later. But I did say to him at the time, I said, look, I'll take these as a mail call. If the original package ever turns up, then you keep it, mate. So I was just glad to see it turned up because it had my last TSC 1 gram BYB bar on there for custom bar. So glad he got that. I do need to get some more of those made up for duck races. Probably be next year. As I say, I'm getting me next year's poker chip designed, and I'll get some more 1 gram bars, etc. for the duck races in the new year. Villain says, well done, Baron, mate, and absolutely well done, Baron. We've got a few well done's coming through to Baron now. Yes, and winning the Pac-Man from the Louis. Geez, I should put some bets on with Miss Luck. Don't you find that, Future? And then this was you for a certain period of time where the giveaways, like, so people get so lucky with them, don't they? Like, you'll see individual people mopping up from time to time, and I've seen that so many times. I mean, as I say, you were winning all the giveaways at one point in time, weren't you? And then who was it? There was someone around Christmas time who was mopping up all the different giveaways, and Jumping's won a load. So yeah, I need the luck to come down on me, because just like Jamie, I don't win giveaways either, So yeah, you do see that happen though, don't you, mate?
Oh, mate, yeah, I was definitely, I don't know what was in the air, but I kept winning almost everything that come out, and I felt bloody guilty. A lot of it, I started giving it away straight away in the live chat, so because I was like, it's just not fair, I keep winning. But, I mean, my channel members, you're one of them as a premium future investor, and Serpent Silver, I think he won 3 times
Serpent,
in a row.
Yes, Serpent, yeah.
Yeah, he won 3 times in a row. Scott Silver won it this month. But yeah, you're yet to win as well. So there's definitely people with more luck than others.
I just want to point out here, right? I know there's people who's not won a duck race yet, but I was the first member of the Future Investments Club, and I've never won yours either, have I? I feel very bad. I get to see all these fly-by nights come along and win on the first month, and I'm there like, when's my turn? When's my? It's all good fun. It's all good. You've got as much chance as everyone else. That's just how it falls. And yeah, I like I do like your monthly members only duck races. They are fun.
Well, there's going to be a big 10,000 subscriber giveaway one when I do it, and you never know, that might be the chance. You might be waiting up for a big one, so we'll see.
Well, that's it. That's what I like to think. I do like to think that. I'm just saving up. Divinia says, I'm still waiting for my prize from Cranky Stacker. Is that something that you won on one of my live streams, Divinia? If it is, let me know. Message me, and I'll look into that for you. I'm not sure if it's something he's given away on one of my live streams, or if it's something he gave away on one of his live streams, because I know Cranky's done some fantastic live streams over on his channel as well now. He's done a few with Tooly and other creators as well. I think he did one with Mitchie recently, didn't he? So yeah, let me know, Divinia, and if I can help on that, I will certainly be more than happy to do so. I won one of those Pac-Man bars too, says Divinia. Oh, well done. Divinia's winning everything as well. No, it was Cranky's 1K goal a month ago. Okay. Well, I know what Cranky's like. If you just give him a little nudge, I'm sure he won't mind. Sometimes I've sent all my prizes out this week. I had a bit of a backlog myself, I'll be honest with you. And sometimes it does get like that, doesn't it? In future, you do get a bit backlogged and a bit behind. But if you if you just give him a little, just a tiny little poke, and he'll let you know what's happening with that, if he's had a chance to send it out or not as of yet. Divinia, I won also and haven't got it, but I know Cranky is a busy man. Yeah, he is a busy man. I know he'll definitely get those out to you as soon as possible. But same as I say, if it's been a while you haven't heard anything, I'm sure he wouldn't mind you just giving him just a teeny tiny little prod. Speaking of teeny tiny little prods, have we all given the like button just a nice little poke, just a little poke, just poke the like this, yeah. There you go. There you go. Little plug there. 365, did you win a sword? Says KY8 Stacking. Ooh. Shall I do a little unboxing? Shall I do it?
Do it.
I've got some special pieces. I've got some nice pieces to share with you all, mate.
Ooh. Yeah. What could it be?
There we go. Right. Well, I'm gonna have to be quite careful opening this, because I want to do a video on it. So this will just be a sneak peek for you guys. I won't go into too much detail. KY, I'm hoping to win TSE sword. well, you can keep hoping on that because I'm not giving away my swords. I love them. So yeah, I'm going to be doing a video on this because you know, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just as a little tiny glimpse for you guys in the live stream, we'll get this fantastic black package open here. Let's go to the overhead cam. Look at these transitions tonight. Look how seamless they are.
You are doing very well. I must
Do you know why it is?
You're a pro, mate.
I've started looking into hotkeys. I've gotten into hotkeys now, so everything's got its own hotkey.
Oh, okay, nice.
If I want to swap scenes, I'll just press 1, 2, or 3. So here we go.
Mate, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but I'm getting my hang of it. Look at this. Check it, guys.
Ooh.
Check it. Yeah, that's another Gabriel sword right there, and we've got the OG Michael sword right there as well.
Is it in a capsule? That's incredible. Yeah. It's in a capsule.
Yeah, all these Comsco Korean mint pieces, they all come in capsules. So you've got the you've got the Gabriel sword as well. I've got the Ganesh right there. I'm not going to bring them all out, but you can see they do all come in the capsules. But I've got the so now I'm on the I've got the Gabriel, the Michael swords. I've got the Eternal Flame with Ganesh, the Hamza hand, and the Mjolnir or Thor's hammer. So next up is the Ankh or the Ankh, whichever you want to say. But we're not going to go into any more because, same as say, I'm going to be doing a proper video as an unboxing for those this week on the channel. So yeah, just a little glimpse. What it was, mate, I bought the Gabriel sword, and the very, very same day it arrived, I was watching. I'll tell you what I was doing. I was watching a Coin Noob live stream. I was just sat here in front of my PC with my headphones on, just watching it. I was in front of my setup, and I picked my brand spanking new Gabriel sword up, my nice shiny new Gabriel sword, and I picked it up to have a little look at it, and I fumbled it, and it fell on the floor, and it cracked. It's got a tiny, can you see that just there? Just the tiniest little crack in the capsule.
Oh no!
That's all it did to it. And I was like, no, not good enough. Not good enough. I need to get a nice new one with an intact capsule, and now I've got 2. So that just means I get to dual wield even. So you know.
Mate, I'm so like you in that sense. I've got 1 gram gold bars from Tavex Bullion, and they sent them all in this stunning black envelopes. I'll find one actually. They come in these like black envelopes, and I'm a sucker for appearances and matching, and they sent me one that didn't come in one, and it really bothered me. So I emailed him and was like, listen, I'm going to order another one, but can you make sure you send a spare sleeve because I want it to match. So they're all in the same like envelopes. It doesn't add anything to the value, but just for appearances and it keeps everything matching. So I think I'm like you in that sense.
Davinia's just let us know she's been up since 6 a.m. yawning her head off. Must head off to bed now. Well, Davinia, it's been fantastic having you here as always. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next Saturday when we're back for a chat. But you get off. Do you have to take your dog quickly before you're getting your head down, or are you just getting straight off to bed? Either way, you have a good one, Davinia, and thank you very much for joining us. I love the Tavex bars. They're so sleek, aren't they?
They're quite good, aren't they? For the price you pay, they're very nice.
Cheapest gold bar on the market, aren't they? If you look at like retail price direct from the actual dealers.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously cheaper bullion dealers out there like Atkinson's, but you're exactly right. For 1 gram gold bars, they're very good value for money in terms of ignoring the fact that the premiums on 1 gram gold bars are diabolical. They're some of the cheapest you can get brand new for sure. I must admit I have stopped buying them now though because the premiums are a bit hard to. I kind of go in like a love-hate relationship with them. Like I go through a phase of like, I love 1 gram gold bars. I forget about the premiums and I can deal with it. And then I have a moment of like, no, I hate them. So I have like a time off.
But look at the last year we've had. if you'd have bought a load of 1 gram gold bars, you know, when it can you remember when it dipped back below, what was it, back below 1400, back below 1500? I think it dipped below 1500, didn't it? If you'd have bought a ton of 1 gram gold bars, despite the premiums, they'd have gone up a lot of value by now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you like 1 gram gold bars, it's almost worth buying a bulk load in one go.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna get a better value for money. If you, instead of buying them like once a month. But of course, the whole point of 1 gram gold bars is so they're affordable to buy regularly. But yeah, you're right. And also, there's still money to be made.
They're great for people who are on a tight budget as well. Because I know a lot of people say, well, you should save your money up and then you should, should buy larger. But there's something to be said about watching something grow. So, once you bought your first 1 gram bar, you invested, aren't you? And then when you buy your second one, you've got a stack. You've got something you can stack on top of the other. And you've got your third one, your fourth one. And it's like I said earlier, when you're enjoying something, it motivates you more, doesn't it? So when you're seeing your little, even if you've just seen it go up by 1 gram at a time, you're seeing your little gold stack go up more and more and more, and that can really motivate you. Whereas, if you start putting the money aside and think, well, you know what, instead of getting a 1 gram, I'm going to get a sovereign or a quarter ounce Brit, I'm going to keep the money to the side, and then all of a sudden your mates are going out, and I'll just dip into that money and for a night out, or something happens and I'll just dip into that money, and by the time you've got to where you would have been able to afford the quarter ounce or the sovereign, you've dipped into your money to the point where there's nothing left. Do you know what I mean? So that's definitely a possibility as well. So I'm not against 1 gram gold bars. And they're very popular. They are definitely very popular. That's you can't argue that. There is a big.
And mate, go on. Sorry, mate. With the price of gold as well going up and up, I mean, it's. I look at a quarter ounce Britannia, right? They're over £500 now. I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money. Whereas 1 gram gold bars, like you say, they're the affordable option, and one day they'll be seen as an expensive investment because of the value of gold.
One day will come where there's going to be very few people out there who can afford an ounce of gold. It'll come. It will come, and it's coming. We can see that.
It's coming.
Absolutely. It looks like I'm bad luck here, future, because KY just says, as you just said, you dropped the sword. I simultaneously dropped everything I was holding for no reason. That's because I got into your head, KYH, subliminally. I got into your head, and I forced you to drop your stuff there. Do you guys not realise every single week I'm affecting the market by pointing out these little fault waves? Not really. I'm only joking. But that's quite funny. That is quite spooky. That's KYH. BYB wants to crack the one with the broken case. You no chance. I love my swords. Very, very much. I really do. I'm very much into medieval history. I think people know that, especially around the time of the Viking invasions. So that's 760 onwards, kind of thing. I can't remember the exact date. I think it was about 768 where the Vikings raided Lindisfarne, which was the first Viking raid on the UK shores. But yeah, I love my swords, guys. You can't have that. You can't have it. Where were we then? Have a good week, stackers from Divinia. You too, Divinia. Take care, and I hope you have a good sleep and get rested up. I always look forward to the stack chat from Divinia. Thank you very much, Divinia. I always look forward to having you here. And all the regulars. I very much notice when people, certain people can't make it one week, and I know that's obviously, it's life, and I don't expect everyone to be here every single Saturday night. But I do notice when the regular guys don't pop in for one. It's not the same without you guys. It's really not. Davini says, I've got one of those Tavix bars, £1.35 in profit now already, you see.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go. As they are cheapest directs from Tavix, says true. Are they the cheapest direct? They are the cheapest bar that Tavix do, don't they? And
yes.
And I don't. Yeah, other than Tavix, I think you have to buy them on the secondary market, don't you?
Yes.
So
correct.
You might get them cheap on the secondary market, but that's the same as everything. It all depends on who's selling at what point. You know what I mean? Or third party. Yeah. There's no third party distributors for the Tavex 1 grammers. You have to buy them directly through the through Tavex, or then buy them second hand off someone who's bought them previously.
Yes, and I think something to mention as well is Tavex isn't like a globally known brand like the Royal Mint. So I think you'd probably even struggle to find a second-hand 1 gram Tavex bar because they're not popular enough for them to be in the market like that.
No, I don't see many of them. I definitely don't see many of them. I don't know if I've ever seen a Tavix bar being sold secondhand. I'm sure if I'm sure I've searched for them on eBay, I'm sure I would find some. But I've without actually actively looking for them, I've never seen them on the market, even myself, mate.
Yeah, yeah, same
Let's have
here.
a look. I hear it's where I was. Did someone say 1 gram gold bar says 365? So that's the same as Jamie earlier. He did the same for Sovereign. I saw that earlier. 365's got a great collection of 1 gram gold bars, hasn't he? I think he's got like hasn't he got an
Yeah,
Oz in 1 grammers? I'm sure you have 365.
he
Yeah,
has, I think.
I'm sure you have, buddy. I got myself another half-gram bag of gold pay dirt. Oh, great stuff, BBA. I do love watching people go through pay dirt and doing a bit of panning. We've said it for years now, haven't we? We need to sort out a panning excursion.
Yes, we have said that. Funnily enough, I'm watching a film today, and I'm going to finish it tonight, hopefully. If not tomorrow, it's the Gold film with Matthew McConaughey.
Oh,
Um,
is that the one where he's a scuba diver?
no,
Okay.
no, that's not that one. This is a 2016 film where he basically his company like looks for gold sources in the earth, and then they find it, and then they get investors and they mine it, and
Do you
everyone
know
makes
something?
money. Um,
Now you've just said that, the gold film with Matthew McConaughey, it made me think, well, hold on. Why does Matthew McConaughey do so many films about gold? You've got Sahara.
mate,
You've got the
yeah.
one that he did with that woman around 2007 where they were diving for it. The one you're talking
Yeah,
about, there's another one as well where he's hunting for gold. Matthew McConaughey, all right, all right, all right. He loves to do a film looking for gold, doesn't he?
yeah, he probably has a bit
Yeah.
on that. He must do.
Yeah, you'd like to think so. You would like to think so.
Um,
Great comment here from
but
365. He says, I
yeah,
remember thinking 60 quid for a gram of gold was expensive. Now they are close to 100 each. They are. They're about 97 quid at the Royal Mint right now. Can you see the comments, buddy?
yeah, I can on the live YouTube live stream.
Brilliant. Can
Yes.
you just take over for 2 minutes? I'm just going to nip to the toilet, mate.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you very much,
problem.
buddy.
Okay. Yeah, going back to what TSC was saying, I absolutely love the idea of gold sieving in a lake. I really want to try that once in my life, like properly getting a sieve and going somewhere where there's gold and like panning and sieving. That to me just sounds so fun. And also like the Australian, TV show where they find like and search for like gold nuggets. I would love to do that. But yeah, good to see you guys in the comments. It's nice to have a brief moment to take over TSC's channel. It's a bit of an honour. Takes me back because we started the live streams together back in the day, and it's always like a nice homage when we get back on the live streams together. It's been fun tonight. But yeah, it'd be nice to talk about 1 gram gold bars as well because it's something that's love hate, isn't it? With like 1 gram gold bars, it's fat premiums, but there's still a gold investment, and I think it's better to have it than not. In my opinion. Just looking at the gold price now, gold sitting at £2,171.68 per ounce on spot price, and in dollars it's £2,720.80. Unbelievable, nearly breaking $3,000 for an ounce of gold. And then silver's doing pretty well, £25.09, $31.44 for an ounce of silver. Pretty interesting. Blistering Barnacles Adventures, channel moderator here, said, I've even tried panning for gold locally to me. Oh, how was it? Did you find anything? Did you get any goodies? Let me know. Villainous Bounty said, Aussie Gold Hunters is a great show. A lot is recorded for entertainment purposes, but fun to watch. Yeah, I completely
What's that,
agree.
mate?
BBA is saying how Villainous Bounty saying how Aussie Gold Hunters, as in the TV show, is a great watch, easy watch, fun to watch, but a lot of it is fluffed up and a bit. Some of it I think is a bit put on for the TV show for sure.
Yeah, no, I think you find that with a lot of these kind of reality TV shows, don't you? I know, completely off topic, but I know Bear Grylls did that, didn't he? He used to create situations and then act as if he came across them naturally. So I can imagine there's a lot of that and that's the case when they make a TV show out of it. We've got to make an episode that's interesting for people to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it's not going to be interesting. It's going to be people testing rocks and be like, well, that rock's not got any in it, and that geode hasn't got anything in it, and that'll be the whole episode. So they do have to make it an interesting watch. But like you say, shows like that sometimes take them with a little pinch of salt.
Yeah, very true. Yeah,
absolutely. Do you want to carry on, mate?
Yeah, sure. I'm just reading some of the comments there. Villainous Bounty says, I may look at making 5 gram bars my savings vehicle.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting choice. I mean, I own 5 gram gold bars. I know you do as well, TSC.
No, actually, I don't have any 5 grammers.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Sorry,
yeah.
I thought you did.
No, I've with gold, I've got my rings and I've got my sovereigns, and I've got a few 1 grammers.
Okay, yeah, okay, fair. I mean, there's no capital, there's no bars aren't capital gains tax exempt, and now I know what I know. I don't buy any more gold bars. Back in the day when I bought my 5 gram gold bars, they were quite low value, but now they're getting expensive, and the capital gains tax threshold is getting lower and lower and lower each year. Isn't it?
Zero, mate. But it won't be long either till that's zero. I promise you.
I mean, how would that affect Britannia's then if it went to 0? Would they still be capital gains tax exempt? They should be, shouldn't they?
Yes. No. Yes. Okay. So, right. They'd be exempt. So you don't consider them when you think about capital gains tax. So anything that you're paying capital gains tax on will be affected by the threshold. But if it's exempt from CGT from being created, such as a Britannia, etc. So, even if capital gains allowance went to 0, you still wouldn't pay any CGT on your bullion, such as a Britannia, etc. So you're right there, and it's great that you brought that up, because that's something to really consider when you look into stacking. Is again, and this comes down to your exit strategy. And I always say, when it comes to stacking, for me personally, the exit strategy is the one most important thing to consider when you look into getting into stacking. What do you plan to do when you come out of that, or you look to cash in? Is it your plan to go down to a dealer and just put it all to a dealer and get the money back from there? Do you like the idea of, I'd quite like to retire into my own little online coin website or something like that, and I've got no problem listing them individually and sending them that way? That might be your option too, but you've always got to look at how you'll plan on cashing out, before you get into it, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. If I could go back in time, I wouldn't have ever bought any bars. I would have always bought capital gains tax exempt pieces, because you're right, the capital gains tax threshold, I also agree, I think will eventually be brought down to 0. But the question lies, what will that do for the price of capital gains tax exempt pieces like sovereigns and Britannias? Would it make them more desirable? My opinion, yes. Therefore, would it affect the price? Would it make them more expensive?
The reality of it, and we'll talk real here. Reality of it, it won't affect most people, because they'll sell it on the secondary market. They'll go to a forum and list them on a forum.
Very good point.
These people aren't paying CGT on them, are they? You know what I mean? And that's the way the world works. If you look to sell through, if you go to your dealer, you're going to be paying CGT. If it's not something that's CGT exempt, you will be paying CGT. Your dealer will probably take it out the amount they give you anyway, and they'll put it through the system themselves. So, that's why a lot of times people look to the online forums. Stacker Social, the sponsor of all these Saturday Night Lives, they've got a great marketplace in them as well, where you can sell pieces. If you're buying on the secondary market, a lot of the times you're going to avoid paying VAT. You're going to avoid, if you're selling, you can avoid the CGT. That's not the right. Obviously you should be declaring everything and paying tax on everything, but it's just not the way the world works in reality, is it?
Yeah, you're right. And actually, talking about paying tax, I've got a question for you, if you don't mind. And don't answer it if you don't want to. But I'm a big believer in someone that's self-employed as well as being employed. I like to use the benefits of tax and claiming back on work expenses, be it tools, any advertisement, any sort of work trips out, all that sort of stuff that's legal and there to be utilised. I'm a big user of that. I use the benefit. I keep my receipts and I claim back the 20%, and it massively helps me myself. What's your opinion on that? Because I know a lot of self-employed tradesmen who are quite lazy and don't utilise that. And I think why wouldn't
you? Might as well throw your money in the bin. You might as well be throwing your money in the bin.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Claim back everything you can. Every write-off you're able to put through, write it off. Why would you not?
Yeah.
You absolutely. I mean, obviously keep within reason. If you ever get audited, you can get in a lot of trouble. Trying to write off the wrong things, etc. But write off everything you can. If you're washing your work uniform at home, write off your laundry. Well, I'm buying it to wash my work uniform. I need my work uniform for work. It's a work expense. If you buy lunch, if you're out and you buy lunch at work, you're working. It's a work expense. So and they're probably maybe more grayer areas, but it's the way it's the way you want to be looking at it. It really is the way you want to be looking at it. It's like you say, why lose out just because of laziness? You want to everything you can. You want to be writing off and making sure. And also, people who are looking to run their own business. One great tip. Well, a lot of people do this. Is you pay yourself as much as you can through dividends in your company, and there's a lot of tax benefits to that. Now, I know this through friends who have got limited companies. It has to be a limited company. I'm a sole trader, so it doesn't really apply to me that much. But yeah, there's things like that as well. That when once you become a limited company and you're the director of a limited company, you can pay yourself so much. You can't pay yourself completely that way, but you can pay yourself so much through dividends rather than actual a pay packet, and you can work out by paying a lot less tax by doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very, very wise. I'm also a sole trader, so I'm the same boat as you. But yeah, definitely use the benefits, right? I mean, it's what smart money is.
Yeah, absolutely. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it makes a massive difference.
It does. Silverdig says, I keep hearing that gold can be panned in Wales. True or false? Gold can be panned anywhere. Any river you can pan gold, and you might find some. It's whether or not you're going to find an amount that's going to be worthwhile. But yeah, there's been people who's found gold in Wales. I think there's an old gold mine. If the urban legends are true, there's an old gold mine in Wales that is abandoned, and some people know how to get to it.
Wow.
But if the rumours are true, that's it's probably more urban legend than anything there, that one, mate. But yeah, no, you can pan for gold in any river, and you have a chance of finding some. Does St. Michael digging sword come under work tools to claim for that? Yeah, no. This right here is obviously a root cutting blade. I use this to cut the roots out when I'm pulling plants up. Clearly, I wish that would be great. I can imagine TSU sending HMRC a video of him trying it on a tree. Yeah, absolutely, 100%, mate. What do you mean it's not a work expense? Here I am. Look, I took that oak tree down with it. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, no, I mean, same as I say, this thing. Oh, it takes you back, doesn't it, to the infamous Trump rally, or the debate when he was up with Hillary.
Yeah, I know exactly the bit you're going to talk about.
We've all seen it, but it's so true. It's so true. Like, well, are you going to say that you don't take the advantage of this and that and the other? Yes, I do. I absolutely do, and so do you, and so do all your friends. And if it was so wrong, you would have done something about it. But you definitely do need. I mean, you do need to look into that kind of thing. If there's ways you can save money or earn more money or not have to pay as much taxes, 100% do it. Why not? You know, it's one of the reasons why the rich become rich. This is where you go into Robert Kiyosaki, and you know the whole debt philosophy of debt is money, and you should borrow money to buy a company, and then you're not, you know, you don't own an asset and this, that, and the other. And there's a lot of truth to it, but you have to be at a certain level before you can start looking into that philosophy. In my opinion, I don't think the average Joe like me and you, or especially somebody
Yes.
in a worse position who's just looking to get into investing, they shouldn't be looking to take out debt to invest. It's too much of a risk, because if the asset goes down, you've then got to pay it back, and you're at a deficit, and it does happen. But you know, it's a lot. I hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, you're borrowing money to invest it." That's insane. It's not necessarily insane. If you can earn a higher profit off of the investment than it's costing you in an APR for the loan or etc., then why wouldn't you do it? You know, it's giving you access to money to make money. It's no different than people using leverage on day trading on a CFD. So you know, it can be like 365 just said. I learned the hard way borrowing to invest. Exactly that, and that's the thing. You know, you can learn the hard lesson, but you know, in a parallel universe, in a different timeline, 365 borrowed that money, invested it, and it went up in value. You know what I mean? So it was unfortunate for 365 at the time, but if he did the exact same thing at multiple other times, he'd have made profit on it. So the idea of doing it's not a stupid idea. It's just it's risky. There's risk to it. That's the only thing I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Silverdig says, right, you're talking about politics. Lol, I'm going to go fondle some silver. Best wishes. Oh, well, take care to Silverdig. I don't think we're talking about politics, are we?
No, talking about tax.
Yeah, I don't think. You know, I'm only quoting Trump and saying he was right in what he was saying in that one quote, and nobody can disagree with that. He is right in what he's saying. You know, you should definitely play the tax system as best as you can, as long as you're staying within the rules.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now I know the market cycles. I would have been fine. Yeah. There you go. You know, a few years down the line, you know, with a different set of eyes, he would have been fine. He would have made money on it. So, you know, it's not a dumb idea. As I say, there's just a bit of risk to it, and it's not something I necessarily recommend to people who are just getting into it. You know, as I say, people who are already rich, then yeah, you know, loan the money to make the investment. You know, you've not got as much of a risk factor to consider, have you? So yeah. Jamie's off. He says 7 a.m. now. Time for bed. Bye all, and you take care of yourself, Jamie. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you still got a little bit of your investment of the Chivas left. Fingers crossed. Anyway, like Baron says, sleep well, Jamie, and Free Survive says, take care. Brilliant. Oh, we've had what's this little Silver Diggers put a little GIF into the stat chat. There we go. Infinite Ducks. There you go. Infinite Ducks. Yeah. No. I'm looking forward to. I can't wait till spring. I can't. Baron says, "Lady Luck is with me." She certainly is, Baron. She certainly is. Yeah, come spring, we're going to be doing much more regular live action duck races.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, everything just is better in spring, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. There's no way I'm getting in that river this time of year. Just no way.
Mate, that was so good. That was so good. I think we was all there like, holy shit.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was very apprehensive before doing it. I felt, you know, I was a bit worried I'd look like an absolute plank in the middle of the river, which I probably did. I had to take someone down with me because I was up and down the river filming, and I was a bit worried that someone would come in and just yoink my camera while I was upstream or something. But yeah. Yeah. Oh, and going back, I think it was Davinia said earlier that it's winter, not autumn. It's not. It's still autumn. It's when's it become winter? I think is around the 20th of December, something like that. It's towards the end of December winter actually starts, which is crazy, isn't it?
Okay.
You'd think it was winter now, wouldn't you?
You would, with the heating I've got on and everything. Yeah.
Oh, look at this backdrop right here. Just look at that 365 backdrop. How beautiful is that?
Woo! Ooh, he's got some silver,
He's got
mate.
some gorgeous poured pieces. What a collection of poured pieces. What's your favourite on that right there?
I don't know. It's probably got to be the Silver Punk 4 joining
That's
piece.
good. That is good. I
Um,
like the jack-o'-lantern.
oh, that is very
That is
cool.
cool, isn't it? It really is very cool. And he's got the crown skull right there. I love that crown skull. I had my eye on that quite a while ago. And
The turtles are pretty cool.
yes, yeah, and don't forget the ones at the top right there. His Batarang's really cool as well. You know, I've got the official Nui Batarangs, but that one's really cool. His poured one, it really, really is. Like you say, the little turtle there at the front, the GS8 Spider-Man. You've got to love a GS8 Spider-Man, haven't you? You know what I mean? There'll be one of those going in a duck race soon because I was fortunate enough to be given two by him. So I'm going to be putting one in a duck in a duck race. Top right swan looks cool. Yes, yeah, I like that. Is very nice. I was looking at that. Oh, there's another little turtle there as well. You know. So yeah, that's it's a cool, it's just a cool selection of poured pieces, isn't it? It really is.
Oh, mate, it's massive. It's
Yeah.
massive. I don't. The only poured pieces I own that are gifts actually, from 365
There you
actually.
go. I was like that for a while, but I've bought myself a few poured pieces now because I do think they are really cool, and I've got a little mini collection of poured pieces, but I am very, very envious of 365 collection. There, I really am.
Yeah, he's not messing around when it comes to poured silver. That's for sure.
Silver Digger says, glorious, that is truly outstanding collection 365. I hope you find many more choice pieces in the years to come. I particularly like the swan in the upper right, very lifelike. It is very, very lifelike. It really is. Let's give that a love and just put my little marks so people know I've been there. There we go. There you go. You can watch me put emojis in, guys. There we go. Pop some emojis in. There we go. There we go. Let's come back to the studio. There we go. Oh, and he's got couple of pieces. Now is that one of the GPS rounds
That is.
spy right there? Here we go. Yeah, I love my GPS round. Have you done the necessaries though?
What's the
Have you
necessaries?
immersed it in water for 2 weeks, then left it next to a magnet for 3 days, and then heat it at 200 degrees for 6 hours, and
I put it in my toilet basin like 365. Put his silver coin in there for a year.
that'll do it. That's fine. That's fine. Then you say, don't worry about it. You're all good. Yeah, I'm 365. You've made such a rod for your own back on this one. I cannot wait to see what's coming this April. I don't know how he's going to. I have literally no idea how he's going to top this year's. I really don't. Oh, mate, do you know what we forgot to do?
What's that?
We forgot to do the phrase for next week.
Oh,
What are you thinking? Should we ask the guys in the chat?
yeah, let's do that.
Okay, next week to race. So 30th next week, isn't it? 30th of the 11th, 2024. Right.
Yes.
Let's have some suggestions then, guys. Oh, why can you see me? That's not good. 1 second. What do I need to press? Should be that one. There we go. Perfect. Brilliant. Oh, I know what I've done wrong here. It's because some of it I need to swap some of my hotkeys because when I'm typing, it's making the hotkeys happen. That was because I pressed W for next week. Silver Swan. There we go. Brilliant by 365. Silver Swan. I've just put it onto the community section right there. So if you go to the community section on my channel where it says home, video, short, live, and playlist and community, click on community. The top post will say for next week's duck race, 30th of the 11th, 2024. All you need to do is go onto there and put a comment saying Silver Swan, and you will be automatically entered for next week's duck race at 9 p.m. next Saturday. So there you go, guys. Let's see who's going to be the first one to put one in there, and we'll see if that's going to be KYH this week. I think it's probably gone. He normally leaves around 9:30. KYH does, so you may have a chance to get in there a little bit quicker. Kieran Williams is here. How you doing, Kieran? Great to see you, my friend. I checked my local co-op as they do not sell silver yet online. Hey everyone. Yes, 365's done a video on that. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I do need to watch that. But we started selling silver at co-op, haven't they?
Silver in the co-op?
Yeah, I think online. I think it has to be on the website. But yeah, we started selling silver.
Really?
Yeah, well, I think this is because of Costco, isn't it? Oh,
Right,
365 just said I need to jump off, lads. Got to be up in a few hours. Great live. Thank you, 365, and great to have you here, mate, as always. You take care of yourself, buddy. But yeah, Costco started selling gold and silver, didn't they? And I think other outlets are now starting to jump on that a little bit.
Wow, fair enough.
I'll have a...
That's
Well, I was going to
positive.
I was going to say I'll have a look on Google, but best not, because who knows what hotkeys I'm going to press while I do that. I'm going to.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one I've learnt tonight. Do you know what, Si? If you're listening, I think I might have to cave and buy one of those streaming little things. Instead of using a keyboard, you can have one for streaming. I've always said, well, there's no need for that when you can just assign a hotkey on your keyboard, but. As we've discovered tonight, there is benefits to having the purpose-made ones. Yeah, you just watch my latest video, TSC. Just the title will show you the co-op silver secret. Yeah, I saw the title and I saw the thumbnail. I've not had a chance to watch it yet. As I say, I don't know if you saw earlier 365. I was on a date last night. I was dating it up in the streets of Sheffield. And yeah, I've been a little bit busy, but I'll definitely try and watch that tomorrow. I think I'm meeting her again tomorrow, you know.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. I think we were talking about going for a little walk tonight around a little manor house or something like that. Something like Elveston Castle or that kind of thing. But weather being what it is, we might not be doing that.
Yes, it's horrific at the moment.
But no, it went really well. We actually hit it off very, very well. It's probably one of my best ever first dates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it just went really well. I enjoyed it. The food was great. The company was great. The place we went was great. TSC's loved up. A little bit, maybe. A little bit. I'm off now. Speak soon. You take care, 365. Thanks for getting in here. And I can't wait to watch that video about the co-op. Getting there, bro, says BVA. Thank you, mate. I used to live in Shardlow, just down the road. Oh, very cool, Darren. Very cool. We have a little bit of a Sheffield posse that come into the live streams. I know Louise has definitely been in tonight. I've not seen Stephen with the Freeze for the Ease, and Loafer is another guy from Sheffield, and I think there's one or two other people that come from Sheffield, which is why we keep alive a great debate of where. Right, here we go. Couple of quick fire questions for you, future. One.
Oh, yeah.
What shape is the world?
It's flat like a pizza.
It's flat, but also
round.
like pizza. Very good. Very good. Very good. Love it. And what was the other one? Where's Robin Hood from?
Some forest somewhere.
Yeah, but what city?
Oh. Newcastle?
Not Newcastle. Newcastle. Get out of here with Newcastle. It's Nottingham. Robin Hood's from Nottingham.
Nottingham.
It's from Nottingham. Nottingham Castle, the Shield Forest. That's the one you want about. You got confused with the ends, didn't you?
Yes, at least I got an N.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, to correct you on your first answer, I think you'll find people all around the globe know that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You're gonna...
People all around the globe know that the world is flat.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Give me a minute.
It's one of those, isn't it? I saw that it was an article. And the article was like, flat earthers around the globe are saying this. It's like, hold on. Something's not right there. I love that. And
that's like the oil protesters that are on top of an oil lorry, and they're like stopping it from moving. And this bloke's being interviewed, and they're like, "What do you think about this?" And he's like, "Well, what's the point?" And the interviewer's like, "Well, what do you mean, what's the point?" He's like, "Well, they're protesting to stop oil," and she goes, "Yeah." And he goes, but that's a cooking oil lorry.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you've got the fossil fuel, and you've got what's
Yeah.
pressed out of an olive, ground down
Yeah.
rapeseed.
Yeah. And they're stopping a cooking oil lorry. Yeah.
Hey, Darren's got it right. He says Nottingham or Nottinghamshire. 100% Darren. BBA knows. He says Nottingham.
No.
But yeah, no, we have a great debate. I don't think it'll ever end. When KYH is here, it goes crazy. He starts saying Skegness and Leeds and stuff. It's like, no KYH. It's dead. It's Nottingham, but I'll entertain people claiming it was Sheffield only because it's the neighbouring county and he was kind of from the border of Nottingham and Sheffield. But yeah, no. You got to love Robin Hood, haven't you? I'm a fan of Robin Hood.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Who's your favourite iteration? Kevin Costner, Russell Crowe, or Taggart Egerton?
Oh, God damn, no. That was awful, bloody awful. That
I've not seen any of them.
That's the one who plays Eggsy, isn't it, in Kingsman?
That's it.
No. I watched like 10 minutes of that. I was not in the mood for it. It's a daft film. When you got to be in the mood for just action, storyline doesn't matter. You're just watching for the action. But when it's not a historical film in any way, shape, or form. It's but some people do enjoy it. And if I was just wanting to watch just a fun action film, then yeah, fair enough. Right, bear with me 1 second. I'm just gonna have to Google something right now. Let me see if I can stay away from the hotkeys. Let's have a look. The thing is, right, I can't remember who he was, but do you know when Prince of Thieves came out, the year that came out, there was another Robin Hood movie that came out at the same time, same year as Prince of Thieves. And it was really good. It was massively overshadowed by Prince of Thieves. But it was a really, really good version. But if I'd have to say, I do think Prince of Thieves was better than the Russell Crowe version. That's not taken away from the Russell Crowe version. I thought that was a good film in itself. But yeah, there's actually a Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was in the Technicolor version, wasn't he? Where he made a massive thing about it being. I think Robin Hood was the first film to be done in Technicolor.
Really?
I think so. Let me just have a look. The first film in Technicolor, not technology, Technicolor. Let's have a look. The Adventures of Robin Hood was produced at an estimated cost of $2 million. Was the most expensive film Warner Bros. Had made up to that time. It was also the studio's second. It was a second film using the studio's utilising the three-stripe Technicolor process. So it was the second film by Warner Brothers to do it.
Right.
Yeah. Mandy's Candy, how you doing? Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, CY, great shout. Did you ever watch Men in Tights?
I haven't. No, is it good?
Oh, it's funny. It's so funny. What's the guy's name? I'm looking. I've got to look. Princess Bride cast. He was in Stranger Things as well. Carrie Ellsworth was in Men in Tights. If you've ever watched, did you ever watch Princess Bride?
I haven't seen that
It's
either.
fantastic.
No.
Princess Bride is fantastic. It's such a great film. It's one of my favourites from being a kid. It's like a fantasy adventure with the dread pirate Roberts, played by Carrie Ellsworth, and then you've got Wallace Shawn, who plays Vizzini in it, and he keeps saying things are unsurmountable or inconceivable. That's inconceivable. And then you've got who was it? Was it oh God? What was the guy's name? Who he played one of the he played a guy called Antonio what was his name? What was his name? Show more. Where's the cast on it? Andre the Great was in it. Andre the Giant was in it. Sorry. But what was his name? Antonio. Oh, I can't remember. He's bloody. Indigo Montoya. He played. It was Mandy Patinkin. Played Indigo Montoya. Oh, yeah, he turned around to Vizzini, Wallace Shawn's character, and says, "You keep saying this word a lot. I don't think you know what it means." And then he's got an epic quote right at the end, and he's like, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father." Oh, I can't remember. What was it? Oh, what was it? What was his speech called? It was something like, "My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my family. Prepare to die." Where is it? Inigo Montoya quotes. It'll come up. "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." And he just keeps saying it over and over again. Oh, such a cool film. You should watch it.
Oh, I've not seen it.
It's really, really good. It is good, and but it's got the same. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. But it's got the same guy who played in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and it was like a parody. You know how he did very scary movie films for like the Scream movies, and then the parody ones. It was it was a parody of Robin Hood, and it was quite funny. Did you ever watch Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen?
No, I haven't seen that.
That's another one worth watching. Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen. It's another parody, but that one was like a parody of Rambo, where Charlie Sheen played like a Rambo, and there was two. You had Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2, and very, very funny films from the 90s, mate. Very funny.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, Men in Tights was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Well done, CY. Unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak in an English accent. Love it. I love it. What was I about to say then? I can't. Oh no, sorry. Okay, so the one and only definitive version of Robin Hood, we haven't even mentioned yet. And you know what it is, don't you?
Kevin Costner's one.
No. It's the animated one. And if you know, you know. There's a lot of people bopping their head to what I was just doing there. And Robin Hood is for Disney cast. Robin Hood is played by a fox. Little John is played by Baloo the bear. Prince John is a snake. The Sheriff of Nottingham is a wolf. And they're all anthropomorphic animals, and that absolutely brilliant version of Robin Hood, the one and only best Robin Hood, and it gets intense, you know. As a kid, I was watching it, and like Robin Hood's being chased by he's got like these two vultures that are his like sidekicks, and he's getting chased by the sheriff and his henchmen, and you think we're going to capture Robin Hood, and he has to jump out of the tower, and it gets quite intense. It's as good as the cartoon version of Sword in the Stone.
I haven't seen that.
I was about to say you've got to have seen that one.
I haven't.
Oh, the cartoon version of Sword in the Stone is really good. It has Merlin going into a spell battle with this witch at the end, and they keep turning themselves into larger and larger animals to beat the other one. And then the witch turns herself into a dragon, thinking she's beating it, and then Merlin turns himself into a bacteria and infects the dragon. So yeah, very, 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 very good. A great children's film, mate. If you ever babysitting kids, or you're ever looking after nieces or nephews, look them up and get them on, because they are quality films. CY said Hot Shots was absolute quality. It was. I do wonder, CY, if we would still think the same if we went back and watched it now, because times have changed. Would we go back and watch it and think, oh my god, that was actually crap, or would we still be laughing? But yeah, it was good. Darren's leaving us. He said, right, off to bed. Was up at 4. Good night, all. You take care of yourself, Darren, mate. Have a good night. I think we'll probably wind things down soon. What do you reckon in future?
Yeah, that's fine with me, mate. I'm just going to pop to the gentleman's lavatory for 2 minutes.
Well, you make sure you stick to the gentleman's. Don't be getting those ones mixed up again. We've heard stories, future. I'm joking, everybody. I'm joking. I am joking. But you head off, and I'll chat with the chat, as it were. So how are we all doing, guys? Let's have a look. We were quite up to date with the comments, which is great. We haven't been all night, but we are right now. Yeah, let us know, guys. Is there anything you've seen in the news this week that's made you go, what? What is that? I don't really know what's been happening much this week. I need to look into the news headlines a little bit more when I'm when I'm hosting these. What's this Darren saying? He's picking his son up from the nightclub. Oh, good dad. You've earned that Dad of the Year mug, mate. You know, fair play to you on that one. You've got me fancying an old school movie night now. Me too, CY. Me too. I tell you what I've just watched this week. It's on Netflix. We got stormed very well. Oh yeah, we've had some storms, haven't we, BBA mate? We have. It's been awful round here. Last 24 hours. Gatwick Airport got a bomb scare. I didn't even know that, Kieran. That is very interesting. Hopefully it doesn't sound like anyone was hurt, so that's all right. 150 miles left for Cobra. He's ploughing through. I saw earlier he had 200 miles left, so he is getting through those miles. And I don't know about you, Cobra, but I quite like the long drives. You know, I'm more than happy driving for hours across the country if it's open roads, if you're not stuck in traffic the whole time. But yeah, no, you keep going, mate. Bert, I think it is, says. It is. Yes, it's Storm Bert, mate. You're 100% right. I saw that on the news earlier. They go through the storms in alphabetical order, which means Bert's very early because we're not in next year yet. So it might start from storm season to storm season, I don't know. But they go from alphabetically. So the last storm would have had a name beginning with A. The next storm will have a name beginning with C, etc., etc. Hammering that Cobra, yeah, says BBA, 100%, mate. You are chewing up that road, and that's what we like to see, mate. It won't be long till you're home now, and I bet you're ready to get home, aren't you? Are you travelling back from work, mate, back to home? If so, safe travels, buddy, safe travels, and I'm glad we could keep you company for at least some of your journey there. Cobra Saw walks fast. That's his running, mate. That's it. What we didn't mention earlier is that's him running. He's just run 50 miles in the last an hour or so, whatever it was. But yeah, if anyone could, it would be Cobra. I'll tell you that now, mate. Yeah, we're just waiting for the future to come back. Oh, that's what I was just going to say. Yeah, what I've been watching this week is that 90s show. Purely out of nostalgia. It was all right. It was all right, but the new characters were a bit young, really, for me to relate to them. You've still got the original mum and dad character who are now the grandparents, and the original cast pop in every now and again. We've had most of the original cast pop in, so Mila Kunis has popped in, and all the everyone apart from TJ, but I think there was some conspiracy with TJ with the that 70s show, wasn't there? But they have had them all come back. But what really annoys me is if they've all come back in individually, and they haven't, been a group like we were in the original show, and that annoyed me a little bit. I would love to see the original cast get together, but I used to really enjoy watching the that 70s show, and it's since I watched that, I've watched a couple of the old series, so a lot of fun. Have you ever? Have I heard you're back? I think I have. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you ever watch that 70s show or that 80s show?
No. The only show I can say I've watched. Well, I've watched a lot of 80s shows, but going back really far would be Only Fools and Horses, that sort of stuff.
So no, this isn't a show from the 70s. It was called That 70s Show, and yeah, it was made as though it was made in the 70s, but it wasn't. So they did it started off with That 70s Show, and after a while it went to That 80s Show, and we've had I think 3 seasons of the new one called That 90s Show. So the current one is set in the 90s. So
okay.
it's brilliant for nostalgia. Brilliant for nostalgia. If you were like me, I was a kid in the 80s, but I remember being a kid in the 90s more. And some of the songs like Lisa Loeb and all the old songs from the 90s, so nostalgic, really are.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
Must be honest.
It's all right. I've just been watching it on Netflix this week at night, so I was saying like it's not as good as the original, and the cast are a bit too young for me to relate to them.
Yeah.
But it was still all right. Still worth a watch. Cobra says, yes, bro, working at Liverpool today started at 6 a.m. Oh, wow. Yeah, oof. So you must be tired, mate. Yeah, Cobra does. He's always on the go, Cobra. He never stops. I wish I had his endurance. I really do. Cause,
Oh, mate.
Yeah, it's like...
I suppose that's why he's as successful as he is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like he finishes the auctions and then he does he starts packaging them straight away, and like sometimes he'll be up all night to make sure people's packages get out to him so quickly. I mean, honestly, it's inspiration. The guy is. He really is. You're always working, says Jumping. 100%. That's what I mean, Jumping. The guy really is an inspiration. Do you even sleep, Cobra? We all know it. We all know it. I'd be worried if you said you wasn't, says Jumping. Yeah, exactly. How's your week been, TSC? What have you been doing trimming trees? I don't think it was this week. I think it was last week. Did I tell everyone that I fell off my ladder at work?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was at top of my tall step ladders, really high up on a really high hedge. And my ladders just went from underneath me, and next thing I know, I was on the floor.
Shit! How high was that?
It was high enough to really, really seriously hurt myself. I would have been about 20 foot up. My head would have been about 20 foot in the air, which is really, I mean, the hedge I was trimming is probably over twice the height of me. If I stood in front of it.
Wow.
And I was being... See, this is the thing. I was being lazy. Okay, so I have a scaffold tower at work, and I should have took the time. I should have set up the scaffold tower and done it that way. But me wanting to get it done quickly, I could get the step ladders out, get up, get the job done, get back down quicker than it would have took me to put the scaffolding tower up. So that's what I was doing, and it just went from underneath me, and I think what saved me, because after I fell, I looked up and my long reach hedge cutters were sticking out of the hedge, and I think what's happened is when I fell, because I had them in my hand, they got anchored into the tree, stopped, and it's obviously I've let go of it as I fell, but it's broke my fall enough, so I've not ended up breaking anything.
Wow, that's lucky.
Very, very lucky, mate. Very lucky. But I've got to take the time and do things right. When you're working for yourself, sometimes you do the quick thing. If it was somebody else, I would never have allowed somebody working for me to have done what I was doing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And I maybe should look at that and think, well, if I wouldn't let somebody else do it, why are you doing it? And it's just it's one of those. Time is money, and if I can get out of the job quick and get on to the next one. That's but that's not the craziest thing that's happened to me in the last couple of weeks. Get this, guys. I don't think I've mentioned this to you yet, Future. So I was in Nottingham a few weeks ago, like actually in the city, and I'm coming out of it, and this guy's going crazy in this van. He starts honking his horn, and I'm thinking he's doing it to somebody else. I'm thinking, oh, it must be someone else. And then he did that thing, when he pulls up same side, like next to you in the car. Bearing in mind we were only in single lane traffic, and he's driving up the middle of a road just so he can have a go at me, reckoning that I cut him off, and it's a merge lane. All I've done is cut in normally, thinking nothing of it. I've not even thought I've been cheeky doing it or anything. I'm just driving along, thinking, okay, that's fine. And then he starts going mental at me, so I basically just laughed at him and then kept driving. And he's following me like an absolute lunatic, flashing his horn, beeping his horn, flashing his lights. At one point, he even pulled up in front of me and slammed his anchors on. I just swerved around him and kept going. And then he followed me up again, and he stopped, and he pulling outside of me. He's like, I'm going to follow you home. You've effed up now. I'm following you home. And I'm laughing. I'm thinking, all right, mate, follow me home, whatever. And I'm thinking, who's going to actually follow you home? People. I've followed people in the car before for like 2 minutes before I've realised, this is daft. Just get on with your day. But he did. He followed me 20 odd miles all the way from Nottingham to where I live. And I got back to my. I didn't go to my house because obviously, if I'm being followed by somebody, I'm not going to go straight home. And what I ended up doing was I went down this dirt track because when I got to my town, I thought to myself, you know what, it could just be that they're coming from the city to my town, like myself and a lot of people. So what I did is I went down a few different side streets that you just wouldn't have gone down if you were going into my town that way. You'd have gone in a different way, if you know what I mean. So after I did that, I was like, no, there's no way he's still following me, and it's just a coincidence. So at that point I went down a dirt track where I do some work down. There's no reason to go down there. The only reason I ever go down there is because I trim a hedge down there, but there's no access to anything, and it was night time. And when I went into that, he followed me in again, and I was like, right, well, there's zero reason for this guy to follow me up this dirt track without it being him being after me. Luckily, I had all my work tools in my car, and I basically just got out with my axe and pointed at him and told him, "You better f off right now, mate." And he put his van in reverse and started screaming at me that I've effed up now. He was going to come back with 20 lads and do this, that, and the other. And I laughed and thought, well, if you want to come back to a dirt track, you feel free, mate. But I'm going to be gone by that point. So yeah, it was insane, mate.
What a fruit, Lou.
Absolute psychopath, mate. Absolute psychopath. I was generally quite concerned, especially when I got back to my hometown and he was still following me, and he was blatantly following me, and it wasn't just a coincidence. I was thinking to myself, what kind of absolute psychopath does that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's why I got out, and I had my axe with me, because I thought, if I get out on my own, I'm going to end up fighting him. We're going to end up fighting if it's dirt. I'm going to get out. He's going to get out. We're going to end up fighting, and I don't want to fight some guy over some bloody road rage incident. Life's too short for that kind of crap. Get on with your day, mate. If you think I've cut you off, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't even know I had. So I thought, you know what, if I get out with the axe, there's no way he's going to stick around. It was a risk. It was a big risk, because if it, and this is what some people should always understand. And I know Cobra will agree with this. Be careful if you ever take any kind of weapon to a fight, because what you could potentially be doing is handing your opponent a weapon. Because if they're good enough to take it out of your hand, then you could make your day 10 times worse yourself. So it was a risky call to get out with the axe. But I just thought, what I just want to approach him with a front that is so threatening that there's no way that he would stay around. I was definitely trying to scare him off. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it worked for me. But same as I say, when put this back into silver and stacking, we've all got our different means of protecting our house, whether it be a Tommy or a baseball bat next to the bed or etc. You'll always be wary if you do approach somebody with a weapon. You are potentially adding just a lot more risk and danger to the whole situation. Then, if anyone doesn't know, Tommy is Future's Alsatian, who's a fantastic dog. Where is he tonight? I'm not on. Kobe said yup. Yeah, 100%. You've got to be careful of that stuff. You've not got headphones on, have you, tonight, Future?
No.
Tommy!
No.
Here, boy! Two's a good boy. Where's Tommy? Where's Tommy?
Come on. Tommy! He's ignoring me.
Oh no, yeah. Villainous Bite says I thought you meant something else. Speaking of which, I think, have you seen my photo of me with a Tommy gun? Did I show you that? It'd be about a year and a half ago.
I think you did.
Yeah,
this is a long time ago.
Yeah, it's my mate who's got the World War military collection. He's got loads of. They're all legal to own. They've all been deactivated, etc. But he's got a Tommy gun, and it's so cool. It really is. Jumpy says I'm 161 subs. Well, getting there. Yes, you will keep getting there, Jumpy. Now it's great to see you climbing up, buddy, and good luck. TSC, you going on my TikTok tomorrow? If I can, buddy, I will definitely try and be there. But as I said a little earlier, I may be meeting that lady again, so I may not be able to. But if I can be there, I will be. Mine's in my guitar case says, yeah, I know what Tommy you were thinking of, Villainous. So look, yeah, no, I'm collecting £5 coins, says BBA. Oh, I can't fault you, mate. I love collecting £5 coins. Still no sign of silver coin stacker. He won my gore. You've just got to keep trying, mate. You've just got to keep trying, and then if people don't get back to you, all you can do is either look to redraw it or etc. There is still a chance. There is still a chance that I may be redrawing one of the bundles from the birthday bash. Now, the person who won it is Phoenix Coins, also known as 007 Coins on Stacker Social. The thing is, Phoenix has his own channel, and I've put a comment on one of his recent videos letting him know that I've been messaging him on Discord, and I've not had a response. So he's active, and he's got his own channel, but I've still not had any response from him. So it's gonna, I can only keep hold of it for so much longer, and then I'm gonna have to redraw it. But if anyone can reach out to Phoenix, Phoenix Coins on YouTube. Let him know to get at me, because he has won a very, very, very nice bundle that contains at least 5 ounces of silver and some very nice premium pieces in there as well. So Phoenix Coins, get at me, mate, or I will have to redraw that. I don't want to, because you did win it, but if you don't get back to me, I can't keep it. It's not for me. It's for one of you guys out there. So we may have to redraw that. Let's have a look right here. BB says getting the job. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. And then we've got some real kit right there. It looks like a anti-aircraft gun to me. That does, mate. That is a proper bit of kit. My the most powerful gun my friend's got is it's got like it's not a Vickers machine gun, but it's like a Vickers machine gun, which was basically like a Gatling gun. It's absolutely. In fact, it's in the background of the photo of me holding the Tommy gun, and it's like a 50 cal machine gun, and that thing would have just ripped people apart on the battlefield. It really would have done.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I know you're quite into your military stuff, aren't you? You would.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, you would absolutely love his collection. You really would, mate. It's just so fantastic. He's been into it his whole life, and he's been collecting military paraphernalia, especially from the Second and First World War, for pretty much his whole life. And the collection he's got now is absolutely fantastic. We often compare his military stuff to my coins, because in the same breath, it's an investment. These guns, because they're actual guns that were used in the actual wars, they're getting harder and harder to come by as time goes on, and the prices of them getting higher and higher.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
CY Sterling, nice jumping. I'm coming up to 250. Need to do a little push. You really do, CY, mate. We need to get a push for CY. I know you've had a lot going on, mate, recently, but we would love to see a few more videos on CY's channel, won't we, future?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant.
Definitely.
I helped build that. It's a 50 cal brownies on a quad mount. Oh, you helped build it. That's fantastic, BBA. My friend would absolutely love that. He really would. But yeah, no, fantastic work there, mate. It really is. All right, so we're coming up to 10:30. I think we've had some really good conversations tonight, haven't we, Future? So.
Oh, mate, we've had some great topics and really delve into them really deeply, which has been great.
Yeah. I can't wait to have you back on probably in the new year at this point, because we are fast approaching the end of 2024. Can you believe that?
Yeah, crazy.
I can't believe it.
I know, it's flown by.
I know.
I don't even. Yeah.
Can you believe COVID was 4 years ago?
Yeah, it's mad.
Seems like
absolutely mental.
Doesn't it just seem like yesterday?
Mate, the last few years have flown by, but this year was quick.
It was. No, it has gone quick this year. Probably more so for you, because you've had so much going off this year.
Exactly. Yeah. Which makes it go quick. So.
Oh, thank you, Villainous, mate. I've sent him a couple of messages on Stacker Social, but I don't know if he's got them yet. Because I've noticed if you haven't messaged people before on Discord, they don't always see the message straight away. Sometimes you get like a message request little thing pop up, and you don't always notice it. So that might have been the case, which is why I put a comment on his YouTube video. But yeah, hopefully he'll come back to us, and we'll be able to get those pieces out to him. CY says, thanks jumping. I'm sure I'm already subbed to yours. Oh, that's fantastic. I know I'm already subbed to jumping. and it's been great seeing you build your channel up, mate. It's Phoenix Coins, but Phoenix, and yeah, he's also it's Phoenix Coin /007 Coins in Discord. But yeah, he's just accepted my request as jumping. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, I can also look like spam, I suppose. Yeah, sometimes, I guess. Cobra says, "No, I need you to stay." No, I need you to stay awake. We're getting Cobra home. You see, he's driving home from Liverpool. He's been on a job, and I'm guessing he's got about 130 miles left because his last update was 150. So I'm guessing he's probably done about 20 miles in that time. So I told him to contact you. Thank you, jumping mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, if we can get Phoenix Coins to get back to me, that would be absolutely brilliant. But if not, we'll have to re-give it away. And because it's been won at that point, it would have been won a few times and never claimed. I think if we're gonna have to redo it, we'll probably have to do it in a way where, yeah, I think that's the one. BBA mate. If we do have to redo it, we'll probably say that you have to be there at the live stream to collect it, and if you're not, we'll keep going until somebody claims it, because I need somebody to claim this package. Mate, if I could keep it, I would keep it. It's got some fantastic coins in there. It really has. It's got the 3D Panda coin in there. It's got the Australia box coin in there. It's got some other silver bits in there as well as loads of other bits as well. So hopefully Phoenix does get back to me, because I'd hate to see him lose out on that. I really would. Well, I don't know what to talk about in the future. What about you, mate?
Well, I mean, tonight's been a pleasure, mate. It's been great to be back, and I've really enjoyed tonight's topic of conversations.
I have too.
I've done a live stream in a long time, so it's been good fun.
It has. Oh, look at that, mate! I was spot on. 130 left to go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get you back that last 130 Cobra, mate. I'm afraid. I'm pretty tired. I've not eaten yet today. I've got calzone tonight, which is going to be nice. I do like a calzone. Nice. It's been a few years since I've had a calzone. What was it you were munching on when we started the live?
It was
Haribo, wasn't it?
Haribo.
That was it. I just want to say, seriously, guys, I want to say a massive well done to Future Investments, because for the first time ever, he's been able to come over to my channel, do a live stream with me, and not sat there and had a meal halfway through it.
Normally I'm eating a full-blown meal. Yeah, you're not
like
wrong.
A whole pizza, or you'll have a plate of food appear next to you. But I kind of miss it. I do kind of miss it a little bit. But
well, I remember for next time.
Absolutely. We ought to do a mukbang video, me and you.
Oh, that'd be good.
A mukbang challenge. Like, we'll both buy the exact same amount of food, and then we'll see who can get the most of it down them.
Yeah, that's a great show.
That was a great show. What was that show you used to record? Man vs. Food, wasn't it? Can you remember that?
Yeah, it was Man vs. Food.
That was good. He used to go around all the different places and eat all the challenges. Like, if you eat so much, you eat for free. I think his doctors told him he had to stop doing it towards the end, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Although I think he's doing it in the UK now.
Is he? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw it advertised the other day, which surprised me.
Because what he started doing, he started hosting it, didn't he? But other people were doing the challenges.
Right. Okay.
I think that's how he did it. But it's got to have been like 15 years since I watched that show. It's been a long time. What's this jumping said? I looked at my Puma crypto coin. It's got 0.1. Just so you know, jumping, it doesn't matter how many zeros you put before the point, it's still 0.1. Sorry, mate, I'm only taking having a laugh with you there, but it's gone up since I bought that off Cobra. Well done, mate. Well done, buddy. That's what we like to see. But it's got 0.1. Thanks for the Saturday chat, Stack Collector and Future Investments, and to all that gave items to the giveaway. Much love, and I hope you all have a great week, and hope the date goes well tomorrow. Oh, thank you very much, Baron, mate, and congratulations again on the duck race. And like you say, thank you to everyone who sent anything across for the duck race giveaways. I really, really do appreciate it, and same as say, it just helps make the bundles a little bit bigger. I'll always try and put whatever I can in them every week going forwards, but if I can get some swag from other people, like other people's poker chips, etc., that's always absolutely fantastic. I put that many zeros as a joke. Yeah, fair enough, mate. I was only having a joke with you two jumping, so that's all good, buddy. I'm desperately trying to keep going a little longer just for Cobra at this point.
I think I'm going to have to shoot in a minute, mate. I'm absolutely battered.
Yeah, I'm starving. So, Cobra, I'm sorry, mate. We've let you down, buddy. I do apologise. but yeah, and I also Cobra. Just so you know, that's why I couldn't make it to the live stream last night. I was in Sheffield on date night, so I hope it was a good live last night. I'll definitely have to watch it back and check it out, because even watching it back, it's still good fun. I love watching everyone bid on the different items, and you get the little bidding wars and like people putting in the little sniping bids and just for chat as well. It's always a good night, isn't it, over at Cobra's auctions?
Oh, they're great. They really are good.
And also, generally, I'm not just saying this, to the new stackers out there, also a fantastic way to get silver at a good price. Like not everything that gets sold through the auction goes at a good price. Cobra can't determine what something sells for. He can only determine the starting bid. But you can get some really good deals in Cobra's auction, and you also the other good thing about it is he also has some very, very nice pieces that are just very difficult to find elsewhere. I mean, to new stackers, at least check the auctions out. You can't go wrong just by checking them out. Phoenix is asking for a link. A link for what, Jumping, mate? I'll sort that. That's no problem. Let's have a look. That's Cobra's link there. Thank you, BBA, and Cobra says congrats, Bo. Yeah, absolutely. Congrats, Baron, mate, on that one. What link does Phoenix need, Jumping? If he goes into Discord and looks on his private chats, he'll see that I've sent him a couple of DMs. But I'll try again. It's a bit strange if you're getting a response from him and I'm not. I hope I'm not trying to contact him on a dead account. But yeah, that is a little strange. Here, let's have a look. Phoenix coins. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've just noticed he's got a little idol thing next to his logo on there. So I don't know. Let us know what link he needs. Jump in, either by DM on Discord, because I think we're going to be closing down the chat pretty much now, aren't we, future buddy?
That's. I mean, when you're ready, mate. But
mate, I was ready 15 minutes ago. This is all for Cobra right now. but no, I am ready, mate. I need to get some food in me. I need to get my calzone done. So, do you want to say a last goodbye, and then I will close down the stream in the usual fashion?
Yeah, mate. I mean, thank you very much for having me. It's been great fun. Great turnout on the live stream as well, and I enjoyed the chats. There was really good topics talked about tonight, and I've got to film a video tomorrow, so hopefully I've left some brain capacity to come up with content tomorrow. But I look forward to being on again in the new year, mate, whenever that will be.
Absolutely.
So thanks for having me.
We'll have to try and get a bit of a panel going on, because you're always really good on a panel live.
Yeah, that would be good with Cobra and maybe CPM.
Yeah, absolutely, or Coin Noob, or maybe
Coin
even
Noob,
someone else. It would be good. I like the idea of you, Cobra, and Coin Noob, because I think you've all got very different ways you look at buying and collecting. You know what I mean? I think having those different perspectives is always fantastic.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Absolutely. Well, no, thank you for coming on, Future. It's been a fantastic night. It really has. And same as you say, we need to get something sorted. If not by the new year, definitely in the new year. Coin Noob says very different. Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, they say, Coy Noob, and I definitely agree with that. So, yeah, absolutely. BBA's up for a panel. That sounds fantastic. I think most people would love to see that. So we will need to get that sorted one time soon. But yeah, future. Once again, mate, thank you so much for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. It really has, and I look forward to seeing you again. But with that being the case, we have definitely rabbled on for long enough now. So we are going to leave you all in the usual fashion by saying, until next time, as always, look after each other, keep stacking, take care, and goodbye.